Yes, yes, ladies and gentlemen, please let me welcome the new CEO of Vincy Mast, Mr. Rodney Small.
Pleasant good night, a pleasant good night. You hear me?
Yes, man. Welcome,
Lovely,
welcome.
lovely.
I was
Thank you
thinking,
once more.
yeah, I was thinking today. I think Rodney is the most visit guest on my program.
Hola, don't say that.
Yeah,
Don't say that.
you beat out Luther and Scorpion because Luther and Scorpion was number one and two, but I think you number one.
Appreciate it, man, every time.
So I go on, everything good in your life?
I'm tired, but I'm okay. I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Good
man.
tired. Good tired.
Good time, yeah, man. You know the show
Yeah.
business already. So let me start from the beginning, man. So how is it, man? I'm in the new position for a while now. How is it? How is it? How is going? The feedback?
It's literally been approximately a month and 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And it has been a great feeling. You know what I mean? I've been around the CDC for quite a while. So it's really not anything new in terms of understanding the organization and the corporation and all that is expected and all that is needed. What I would say is that I'm now deeply involved from the office level and from more of the administrative level. And I mean, working with the board of directors and the different committees and the members of staff at the office has been really good thus far, and being able to connect with the sponsors and the major stakeholders and all everybody who make up this wonderful fabric that we call Vincy Mass, the premier festival in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You know, of course, going inside there with my own vision. I mean, me basically doing a lot of research, investigation, observation, and even me myself as a practitioner, knowing there are things that I would want to see. But again, as cliche as it may sound, no man is an island and no man stand alone. So there are all these other elements that I'm rest on, and I'm coming in on the shoulders of some great experienced men and women of the CDC, those who are there presently, and especially those who have contributed before. So it's really a good vibe. I mean, it's very intense, and it's an aggressive right now because it's practically we're 1 week away from the official launch of Vinci Mars, and I've been in the position for 1 month and 2 weeks. So you could understand what we're dealing with there. But I think everybody now understand what is expected of us from our CDC, and we're ready to go.
Yeah, man. Yes, man. The pressure cooker. You're in the pressure cooker right now, man. So yeah, about feedback. I'm getting a lot of people really happy that you get a job. Everybody think you capable and ready for the job. So
Uh, well, But yeah, I must say maximum respect and big up and love for all those persons who have been showing their love and support and encouragement and the guidance. I tell you, the guidance is tremendous, and that is something I'm grateful for. And of course, not everybody is going to be on your side or is going to be happy for you. That also I embrace because everybody would always have who they want and who their favorite is, but that is not the focus. The point is, I need to get the job done, and I understand the task ahead and utilizing all the resources around me. So, yeah, I wanted to say a major thank you to all those persons who have been showing the love and the support, and persons who are ready to take Vinci Mass far, far and beyond. I mean, again, Vinci Mass is bigger than me.
yeah, man. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
bigger than me, so
Yeah, I have some things to talk about that. I have some things to talk about tonight, man. You see what
no
ideas?
problem.
I have plenty ideas tonight.
All right. And I have my notepad
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
know your
yeah,
program does have a lot of historians, a lot of people who have ideas. So I come prepared to take some notes, right?
yeah. We like that. We like that. We like. You may think I'm crazy, but I like to think outside the box. I don't like to think in the box. But we come to that
That's
later on.
important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So I just want to let you know that Vince Lime, we here for you, man. Anything you want us to do for you guys, just contact us. Are we ready and willing to help you guys, man? Because one team, Vince, we say.
I totally appreciate that. Totally
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah. So yeah, let me I wanna start I know you guys went to New York, right? And you had a meeting with those guys up for Labor Day. You wanna give us a little bit something about that? Like the collaboration, what you guys wanna do with that?
Of course, indeed, I can. Well, first, we did our press conference on the Tuesday, and myself and the chairman, we decided to fly out the next day and go to New York, right? Because we see it that is very critical for us to sit down and meet and talk and have a better understanding of what the people in the diaspora is looking forward to what they need and how we can foster a better relationship or basically grow any relationship that is already existing. So going there, we went there with the intentions of meeting with the promoters, I mean, carnival lovers, of course, some sponsors, and to discuss the official launch of Vincy Mass in New York. You know what I mean? Before the New York Diaspora Committee, they would do their thing. But we saw it fit that we wanted to um, mirror what we are doing here in St. Vincent for the launch of Carnival and take it to New York and other places. Because I hear calling out, "Hey, come to Toronto," you know what I mean. But while we were there, we took the opportunity to meet with the committee, the chairman and the president of the Labor Day committee, and that was an amazing meeting. You know, what I mean, I want to big up Gans and Tiba and the CG, Randy Luther McIntosh. You know, what I mean, who was always there with us on the road, meeting the different stakeholders. And in a nutshell, I mean, we had approximately about an hour to an hour and a half meeting, and to hear these guys talk about Vincy Mass and the Vincy culture. In fact, the president, no, the chairman is actually a Vincentian. He's a Maloney, and you know the Maloney is from the Richland Park area. So that is a plus for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I want to big up Maxie Franklin, who really give us that connection to meet with these men. And in a nutshell, they want to come to St. Vincent. They want to promote Labor Day in St. Vincent. And then they want to do the same where they promote Vincy Mass in New York on Labor Day. And not just to say we were going to give out some flyers or we're just going to come. He wants us to do it in a big way. And he wants to come and do it in a big way in St. Vincent. I mean, with full media coverage and them being on the ground, they're going around to the different panyards, the mass tents, the calypso tents, and just giving Vincy Mass a good presence at Labor Day in terms of our practitioners coming up, in terms of we having events, in terms of we having booths, in terms of we having a truck on the road. Because if you know the history of Labor Day, you would know Vincy has always been a part of Labor Day in some way or the other. People like Soka Jones and Fessy and Mr. Tony, all these persons who have made it possible over the years to make sure that Vincy has a presence in Labor Day. So in a nutshell, we're gonna do an exchange program. And I mean Labor Day committee is gonna come to Vincy March this year, 2025, do their promotions. I mean, and then we do the return like in New York for Labor Day. And so we met with that committee, and then we met with a lot of sponsors. I mean, Vincentian business owners in New York City and some who are not Vincentians. We met with the promoters. I mean, because they're also critical there. They make up a part of this product that we call Vincy Mass. And it was just an amazing, we did a full activation, a Vincy Mass activation, a Vincy Mass karaoke. And trust me, the grab was if you sing a soca song or a calypso, you win a ticket to a show to come when you come home. And people, I mean, people were singing. I mean, and the appreciation for our music was what was really, really tremendous. So the New York trip was in a nutshell very successful.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing, man. That's amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, what happened to Canada, man? I always see all in New York. What happened to us in Toronto? We are nobody pick me up, man. What's going on?
Well, I know we open a can of worms there because even the CJ, Mr. Fitzhuggins, you know, he reached out and hey, we're going on. But quite naturally, we won't be able to get to do everything this year. And I want to put that plug there. I mean, for all those persons who have a great expectations, I'm gonna tell you no. I will try my best. We're gonna try our best to get as much things done. Some new initiatives, but we're not going to do everything overnight. I mean, Carnival is evolving. It's growing. So just that bit of an understanding. But we have plans for Thousand Island, of course, in Toronto. We have plans to visit the UK directly after the launch in New York. So, you know what I mean? Our diaspora, we're connecting. We are connecting the dots because the world is no longer a big place. And a lot of eyes are on St. Vincent and the Grenadines, especially where our tourism is controlled and concerned, sorry. And, you know, persons are coming here for our way of life. And we want to be able to sell our way of life through our culture and our arts. I mean, for the launch of Carnival, there's some surprises that I would reveal as we get into the launch of Carnival to show you how we're going to connect Toronto, New York, Japan, Taiwan, this, that, and I mean, so later I will get into that. But we
Yeah,
have plans. It does not have to be directly a launch. but there are other activities that are existing in Toronto that we can go in and do an activation and meet with the people in Toronto. And I mean, a lot of persons been reaching out from Montreal also. You know what I mean? I think that New York visit on the serious side really open our eyes and show us how connected we need to be, because the interest level from what persons saw we doing in New York. And I mean, persons reach out as up in the British Virgin Island and the US Virgin. Hey, you have to come over here, you know what I mean? So it shows that Vincentians are all over, and they're full of pride. They want other persons to see what we are made of. So in a sense, that is something that is motivating for us. And if we can use the vehicle Vincy Mass, you know what I mean, to drive these stuff, I mean, we have to. I mean, we have to do it. And if that is what is going to bring people to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I mean, we have to take it to the world and explore all of these new world order. Look at what we're doing now. I mean, you have this program. I mean, even in the volcano, we're keeping people up to date. So why not utilize the technology to push Vincy Mass?
Exactly, yes, man. So is so okay. I want you to tell us about the launch of New York, and after that, I want your whole vision. I want after that, I want the vision of your run this small vision for Carnival, right? So tell us the launch, like what people gonna expect in New York City, and then we will talk about your vision.
So you don't want to have a Vincy Mass launch and then New York launch.
Okay,
You want
obviously.
to have New York and then Vincy
No,
Mass.
because we was in New York, so that's why I said New York. So
Okay,
that's
okay,
why. Yeah,
we'll stay New York. We'll stay
yes, in New
New
York.
York.
Yeah, yes, in New York. Yeah.
Um, well, as I said, it's going to mirror the production that we're doing here in St. Vincent, right? So we're going to, the storyline is basically global excellence. That is the storyline for the boat launch, St. Vincent and New York. I think with my little Japa years that I have on the earth, I've seen it. I've seen quite a lot. I mean, even listening to a lot of the historians and persons who have just been around Vincy Mass, the festival, we have contributed so much to the world, right? Our components, and I mean pan, calypso, mass, soca producers, right? And I feel that this launch is one where we want to stamp our identity, right? Not in any boastful way, but to let our people have a sense of empowerment, have a sense of belonging, understand that, yeah, regardless of what, we may be small, I mean, but we have contributed greatly. I mean, we can name it. We can go through the history books, right? From the creation of Raga Soka, right? To the changeover of our carnival to June, July. I mean, to our mass builders moving around in the international world and the regional world building mass. I mean, to our very own producers, Frankie McIntosh, and even some of the young producers now, Kobayashi, Wetty Beats, and I mean, Carbon Jams. You name them. And of course, our soca artists, our panists, our pan players, our steel orchestras, they have all contributed so much to the festival. And so in New York, our storyline is still gonna be global excellence, while we still pay tribute to some of the men and women who have contributed to the whole New York presence, right? In Labor Day and the Carnival Festival. So you're going to see our history, where we're coming from. You're gonna see that whole storyline. So you're gonna see a bit of Juve, you're gonna see a bit of Pan, you're gonna see a bit of Mass in traditional format, and of course the modern format. So that would cover the very early element of the event in New York. And then you're gonna have something for the family, of course, because we wanna include the kids. So you're gonna have a kids fair that is happening, and then directly all of that, you're gonna have the booths, because we have a lot of promoters in New York. We have a lot of people who have products that they would want to to promote. So you have that corporate area that you can go and get food, drinks, products, craft, anything that you could possibly think about is going to be inside that, because we cannot separate the business from the festival. And of course there's some local business from St. Vincent, some big companies who are also going to be in New York, because there's a whole expo that is happening around that time. And then quite naturally we're going to activate the stage. So we're not bringing a lot of artists from St. Vincent to go up to New York, because we have a lot of our artists who are living in New York, right? I mean, from Calypsonians. We actually have a Calypso tent in New York. So you're going to see some performances from those Calypsonians. You're gonna see a lot of the trending artists who are living in New York. You know what I mean? And then of course you're gonna see some mass presentation, and then you're gonna see the inclusion of the technology. I mean, I don't want to give away too much because I know Tiba and Luther probably say, "Hey, boy, you want to give everything," but it's all going to come together nicely. We're gonna have some spoken word where we look at the significance of our contribution in New York as a Vincentian community. We're gonna pay tribute to some fallen soldiers. You know what I mean? Super Dex, Soka Jones, just to name a few. Mr. Tony. I mean, a lot of persons have contributed greatly, but it is really about the feel and empowering our Vincentian community. And I mean, there are other persons who I know gonna come out who are from other islands who are living in New York. So the setup is something that you want to look forward to. And I mean, that is something that is going to be spectacular. I mean, and of course, the name of the show is Start. And it's time to really start it in a very big way. And then persons can look forward to the private promoters who are coming down from New York. They're going to be giving away tickets. They're going to be having specials. They're going to be having discounts. So for the persons in New York who are listening to my voice, don't worry yourself. Tickets are going to be on sale. You're gonna be winning some tickets. You're gonna be getting some discounts. So don't worry yourself. Everybody gonna be
Yeah,
there.
yeah, that's a good look. I really love that idea. That's a really good idea, especially for the promoters them up there who selling tickets for their events, man. That would be a good look, you know.
Come on.
Yeah, yeah. So you said the kids, you having stuff for the kids. I really think for us, not really St. Vincent alone, but for the Caribbean, I think we're missing a big market, man. Because a lot of us come out here have kids. Our kids them travel, man. So I think we need to start marketing to the kids them of like from our kids them, get them more
Right.
enticed to come back home because they want to come home, you know. So I think we have to
Yeah.
start marketing to that niche of people, man, because it's a big niche of people. There's a lot of kids born up here, man, from us.
Yeah. I mean, and the kids make us spend money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, that's for real, man, for real, for real.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
tell us the date again and the location for New York.
It's May 18th, Sunday, May 18th. I can't even remember. It is
The
I think it's
location.
Nazarene or something. Okay, let me put let me pull up the flyer from my phone. But yeah, it's Sunday, the 18th of May, and a lot of persons were asking why the Sunday. But remember, I just mentioned that they're going to be an expo, a Vincentian expo with some sessions at I think is at the Marriott or one of those venues. So we decided that after the Saturday, the Friday, the Saturday, Sunday, we're going to move into the lounge, right? Nazareth Regional High School,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
right?
CDC.
Right. So that's where we're gonna be, and of course, persons can look out to the Lime on Friday, the 16th. We're gonna have a Lime at Woodsy, right? So all the Vincentians just come out and then we hold a lime, and then Saturday we check out the expo, and then Sunday we launch in Carnival. There's
So
some surprises that I'm not going to reveal yet.
what is it like? What mean like? What we do? We
We,
partying?
we,
What we doing?
yeah, we
We drinking us?
partying. I mean, we meet and greet. We partying. I mean, there are a lot of things going to happen on that Friday night by Woodsy Bar. I mean, we did a karaoke there, and it was crazy. A simple karaoke turned into a fete.
We do it already.
Yeah, but I mean, as I said, there's some surprises. There's some things that we're working on. So you can come and meet and greet, meet some of the artists who are going to be performing. I mean, you're going to meet some officials from the CDC. You could come and meet some of the promoters. So that Friday is just for us to just chill. I mean, and then Sunday we're hitting it.
Yeah, yeah. So you wanna go the your vision or you wanna go the launching first?
Well, the launching first.
Okay, let's go the launching. Let's go the launching. I need to hear. I
Oh,
need to hear. I need to hear your vision. I need to hear your vision.
oh my God. Well, the launch in St. Vincent actually starts from the Friday, right? We're gonna do a massive parade around town, right? And this parade is going to highlight our cultural identity, right? I mean, very deep, very, very deep. And I want to big up one of our members of staff. He's literally a set worker. Set worker meaning he's not a full-time employee yet, he's on probation. And when I give him the task of putting together the parade, as a young man, to see his narrative and his storyline, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like Vincy Mas is in a very safe place. where that is concerned, the research and his thoughts and the direction in which he wants to go. So I just want to put a plug there because sometimes we don't big up our young people enough, right? So it's gonna be a massive parade. It's gonna start from 4 p.m. So as people walking out the office, they're gonna see this parade activated, different spaces in Kingston. There are going to be different stops at different significant places around the town, right? Because you know that there are certain places around Kingston was known for certain things. So you're going to see that. We're looking at about 150 persons in this parade, and we are inviting the general public. If you want, you could join in the parade too. It's not a jump up, but it is something that you can be a part of. And then directly after the parade, we're going into a street party in Heritage Square, right? Because we know Heritage Square is known for that, right? Anybody who come home for Carnival, you know the place to be is Heritage Square. So we're going to also give you that experience where you can also hear some new music, you can see some new artists, you can get some giveaways, and then of course you're going to hear everything about Vincy Mass 2025. And then the next day, we're going to have a truck on the road from as early as 10 a.m., moving from the leeward end all the way to the windward end and then back to the tarmac for 6 p.m., where we're going to have a pre show. Now, the tarmac is a very big place, and we have three zones, three different phases, and we are going to set that place in something that you've never seen before, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Right? We're going to utilize this space. We're going to put in a lot of infrastructure. We're going to put in a lot of set design. So from 6 p.m., from you park your vehicle, anywhere you park it on the tarmac, you're going to be able to join in a procession or what we would call a jump up, but that jump up is not going to be powered by a hi-fi band. It's going to be powered by boom drum, which is our national beat, drum beat. It's going to be powered by a rhythm section. It's going to be powered by pan round the neck. It's going to be powered by steel orchestra, and it's going to be joined by monkey band, the Juve fanatics, the Brava dancers, the Pitchy Patchy, the big frock dancers, and of course the fire eaters, and they're going to move you into the second part of the venue, which is now the corporate side, where you're going to see all these booths. I mean, persons have been reaching out to purchase these booths, to rent these booths like crazy. Promoters, people who have products, association organizations. I mean, and that area we're also going to put in a maypole. And I told you anything back, I telling you everything tonight, you know.
Yes,
So we're
man.
gonna put a maypole in the middle of that area. So while you move around in the mini expo, you appreciate, you buy some craft, you buy some painting, you know what I mean, you go and register in a mass band, whatever you want to do in that area, you're gonna have the opportunity to dance around the maypole. A lot of people can't tell us to see a maypole or dance a maypole, right? Then directly after that, now we're going to move you into the main venue that is going to be filled with technology. You're talking about LED screens. You're talking about pyrotechnics. You're talking about LED lights. You're talking about moving heads. You're talking about a live band. You're talking about live DJs. You're talking about artists. And these artists, the storyline is global excellence. Nobody cannot tell us about our love for raga soca, and we are talking about Hansdad, we are talking about El Pang, we are talking about Dimes and Pixel, we're talking about Bongo Prime, just to name a few. And then, of course, we're going to go into the new style of our soca, the uniqueness, because we have people like Datsy who now have a new style. We have people like Kenny Montana who now have a new style. And we have to embrace these new styles. And of course, we can't forget the persons who have paved the way. So we're gonna have Johnny Rebel coming and giving us that nostalgic feel of Johnny Rebel alongside Black Sand. We can't forget our females. We have Angie, one of our very newest female, and we have Kelly J. Well, I mean, she just had an injury, so we're hoping to bring her in a wheelchair so she can still sing for our people. You understand, of course, and we have our Soca Monarch hits. Now, one of the things that I'm going to put here, and not holding anything back because we are 1 week away, we have four DJs, and these four DJs are going to be guided by what we want them to play. So DJ number one, they're going to be playing Raga Soca hits. So all of the Raga Soca wins, that's what the DJs are going to be playing. DJ number two, he's responsible for Road March. DJ number three is responsible for Soca Monarch. And DJ number four would be General. And every single DJ is going to be playing 150% local music. All right. And so there are a lot of things. And then we're going to have an AI presentation. I mean, we had conversation about the metaverse. We had conversation about technology. We have conversation about AI. So you're gonna see an AI presentation from the Minister of Culture and the Chairman of the CDC. So we're not having the Chairman and the Minister with a mic stand on stage and say, "Hey, good night, my people." No, their presentation is actually going to be a performance in the world of technology. So you're going to be seeing that. You're going to see fireworks. You're going to see some fire presentations. You're going to see a lot of things. I mean, and then the idea is to get persons to come out early. I mean, to be a part of it, we are sending a special invitation to all the crews. We are sending a special invitation for all our fans, our carnival lovers. I mean, we're asking persons to support the bars because the bars are being run by the components of Vincy Mass. Pan, Calypso, Mass, Soca. They're being run by these components, and I'm asking you to support them because it's expensive to bring a mass band, it's expensive to run a Calypso tent, it's expensive to bring a steel orchestra. So I'm asking you kindly when you come support these bars. I mean, show them your love and support because they are the shakers and the movers and the makers of Carnival. But can't forget without mentioning the band Kinetic. They're going to be backing all the artists. And I mean, we had a meeting today, Colin, where we met with every single one of the performer and tell them what our expectations are. I mean, how can we work together? Because this is a production. It's not, oh, call the next on stage, Hans John. Next on stage, it is going to start and it's going to flow. So persons can look out for a very tight show, one that is entertaining. And as I said, I am personally inviting all of the crews, the revelers, I mean, carnival lovers. Come to the tarmac. It's a Saturday. Transportations are. I know van going to run, taxi going to run because it's the official launch of Vincy Mass. Um, and yeah, I'm just excited. You're gonna see Mass presentation again coming back on stage. You're gonna have Stylish Steel Orchestra. Everything that you could think about is going to be a part of this. And this is the surprise now. One of the surprise because you asked about it. We're going to be having watch parties in Toronto, watch parties in New York, watch parties in Miami, watch parties in Taiwan. So
Wow.
we're gonna send a link to all these territories, all the persons in the territories, and wherever you are outside of St. Vincent, you can join that link. You could be in your house drinking something, you could be by a bar, or you could join the lime that they're having. So when the MC say, let's head over to Toronto, Colin, I hope I could see you saying, big up Vincy.
I
You
know, I know.
understand? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's how we're connecting everybody, and I mean it's going to be a very tight show.
Yeah, I
I
like
could
that.
promise you that very tight and entertaining. But from 6 p.m., make sure you jump out your vehicle, jump into that jump up, embrace your culture, feel good about who we are, and just let go. It's a moment for us to say, ah boy. Because for the past three carnivals or four carnivals, if persons didn't remember, I'm going to remind you. We've went through a COVID-19 pandemic, we went through a volcanic eruption, and we went to burial. All these happened during carnival. I
Wow.
mean, I think this is the year where we could say, ah, Father Jesus, just bless us.
Yeah, yeah. We need a break. We need a break.
I
Yeah.
mean, but and then one of the things that I forgot to mention is that we're going to have the junior calypso and soca reigning monarchs who are going to be performing, and we're going to have Madzat. I left Madzat for last simply because Madzat have won every single crown in carnival.
Big up.
Calypso, Road March, Raga Soca, and Soca Monarch. So he's also going to be a part of the cast. And yeah, it is gonna be amazing. We actually start working from tomorrow because the venue, as I said, is going to be a very nice and elaborate setup. That's something that Vincentians deserve. So all the persons who are listening to me from the diaspora, when we send that link out, just make sure you link up. It doesn't matter where you are. You could join the link wherever you are. Just mean when we turn over and say, let's go over to wherever we're going, you're ready. You know what I mean? You look proper. And I mean, I know that some man might be partying with a shut up, no problem. Just come on and just show your love for us here in St. Vincent.
Yeah, wow. That's the. Hold on. Rachel, link up Ezzy for me, please. Link up Ezzy.
There's only one way to do it. Yeah, yeah.
One way to do it, baby.
Yeah, yeah. This is how we just do it. Last night wasn't your last night, but today,
Ezzy, you ready for us?
the last day. So let me celebrate
Turn on your cameraman.
today. Yeah, yeah. Yesterday was yesterday, but tomorrow we don't know. So let me commemorate this date. Yeah, and let me do this one big, 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 gigantic, bombastic. Let me do this big, 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 real big, fantastic. So put your hand in the air and let me do this in grand style. In grand style, celebrating a fine style. In fine style, let me do this huge, real huge. Let me do this monstrous, boisterous. All of us put something up in the air. Raise it for the world to see. Let me act every day. Write it in history and embrace the moment. Let me cherish the moment and enjoy the vibes while we are alive. And let me tell you, this no type of fighting, no feelings floating, only good vibes floating. That's what we talking, cause we don't have time to hate around here. You best get it clear, yeah. We doing this one top tier, history making in here. So what time we leaving, we not clear. Night or morning, and that's how we do it straight. Real lights around here, now all hands in the air. And let me do this one big, 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 big.
How we gonna do it, man? Launch of Vincy Mass 2025.
Let me do this big, 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 real big, fantastic. So put your hand in the air and let me do this in grand style. In grand style, celebrating a fine style.
Yes, man, we're gonna celebrate in a fine style. Vincy Mass 2025. Yes, Mr. Rodney. Yes, yes. But before we go back to I want to talk something. Before we go back to the launching, the songs you hear so far for 2025. What you feeling? What you feeling? What's going on?
Amazing. Amazing. And I know if James is listening to me right now, my brother, I know I'm supposed to call you back. I mean, I'll call you back tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow's the day we're going to try to reach out to everybody because, I mean, it's a very busy time. I'm not going to lie. I mean, and I just want persons to understand that there's a lot of expectation, there's a lot of work to get done. And so my family, friends, loved ones, everybody, just bear with me a little bit. So James, big song. I mean, and Colin, I mean, we are hearing those that are released already. I don't think you want to hear the ones that are not released yet. Because it don't have a time, it don't have a time where artists don't send me something and say, boss, listen to that. Just this morning, this artist Enigma, very good artist, very, very, very good artist. And the music, the approach for this year, I love it. It's more of a lifestyle, it's more happy, it's more you can tell that we're going in a different direction.
Yeah,
Mind you, everything can't be the same, you know, so we have to appreciate the other side of things too. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But what I'm hearing so far, I'm happy. I mean, the Just Bus family did some stuff. Ozari did some stuff. Dimes and Pixar did some stuff. I mean,
Big.
a lot of the young artists are hearing some nice things from the young artists too. And all I'm saying, and I'm gonna be very serious about this. I mean, it might be a very unpopular statement, but we can do all of this. The producers can do their work. The writers can do their work. The artists can do the work. But if the DJs are not doing their work, then all of that would go to waste.
We gonna touch that later. We gonna touch that. We have to
Right,
touch that. Right? We have
right,
to touch that.
right.
But
I mean,
yo,
come on.
I have a big monster. I have a monster to drop from Scorpion. Scorpion say me a
As
thing.
usual, as usual,
Wait there,
as usual,
Yes, Scorpion
as
come off,
usual.
starting off the thing big tonight, man. You have a big one to drop tonight. Yeah, so
Nice,
yeah.
nice. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So I hear you talking. I don't hear no problem. I don't hear no skid. We're going on. We're going.
No, well, we're always hearing things for problem, and we're
Yeah.
always hearing things for
No, no,
skinny.
no, no.
You
I
know what I
mean,
mean?
for the launching. Are we talking launching
Oh,
now? We
oh,
talk
oh,
about the
oh,
launch.
oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
oh, yeah. Problem and skinny, they're not available. The
Okay.
dates, they're booked. You know what I mean? Which we also have to appreciate because somebody have to keep crying the flag. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
Scorpion out there doing it too, James P out there doing it, Fireman doing it, Problem doing it, Skinny doing it. You know what I mean? So we can't vex. We go want them here for the launch, but let them go and do the thing out there and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
nice up Vincy out there while we nice it up here also. So I mean, we reached out to them, of course, and they were extremely willing. But it's just that they had bookings even before. Because remember, originally, right now around this time, would have been on the tarmac. Because
Right.
Carnival normally launched the first weekend in May. But there's a car racing thing that happens that is happening over the weekend that we saw it fit to collaborate with them. So we're doing some marketing stuff, some promotional stuff with the racing car racing thing that is happening now, and we decide that listen, we're gonna move it to the next weekend because Carnival is about full inclusion.
Right.
It's not about fighting. It's not about a pull and tug. You understand? We just go and activate some Vincy Mars things with them while they do their thing, and then next week everybody come to our thing.
Yeah,
You
yeah. I like
understand?
that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't understand whether they mash up the tarmac.
Yeah, so Mr. Small, I want to hear your vision, man. Your vision for like, I know everything cannot happen now, but that's an overall vision that you like to see Carnival go.
Wow, wow. I mean, I've been answering this question for quite a while. No, I would say this. I mean, I know SJ is on waiting to come in.
But tell him turn on. You need to turn on his camera, man. I want him come
As
on.
as he turn
Yes,
on the camera.
turn on your camera, brother.
um, well, my vision. No, I need persons to understand where this is coming from. Before I applied for the job, I've sat with myself a lot of times just thinking about it. Reach out to different people who have been doing it. Different persons who normally would guide me with things. And I wanted to make sure that I understand what is expected for this job before I could say, yes, I want to do it. So for no reason, it was about just jumping and doing it because I see an opportunity. It was jumping and doing it because I think I can do the job and I can get the job done. Now, getting the job done is not rest on me alone. Obviously, you have to work with a team, and I wanted to make sure that I'm ready to work with the team. I've been around Carnival and Vincy Mars, and I'm going to tell you 1940s and all of that. I've been a spectator as a little boy. I am a practitioner, still a practitioner, so you're not going to take that away from me, right? Because the other day I was doing a show, stage managing a show, and post was watching me. Wait, he's not the CEO of Carnival. You're not going to take away me playing my pan, or me being a production manager, or me being a stage manager, right? That is who I am. So the vision is coming from a very deep place. One, it is filled with the whole aspect of sustainability. Not just for CDC, but CDC and its babies, and I call them babies, our children, which is the components of Carnival, Pan, Calypso, Mass, Soca, um, to create an opportunity or avenue for the components of Carnival to stand on their own, where we see these things happening all year round. How do we create that atmosphere? We must go into the schools, which we are now speaking about preservation. And preservation don't always have to talk about something old. I mean, preserving something don't have to be about something that is old. I could preserve what is happening now with some of the new dances. I mean, Wajang dance from Datsi in the school system, right? Um, Sustainability in the sense of I should be able to see a steel orchestra concert every weekend, right? I should be able to see Our mass builders not only building mass, but they're building set designs for a drama festival or for any festival that is coming up or for anything that anybody wants. So it's really to get the carnival makers, which are the components, to be more actively involved in throughout the entire year, right? So by the time we come carnival, we're well seasoned and ready to go. Um, my other vision is obviously what we all been talking about is taking Vincy Mas to the world. How do we do that? Is to enhance our networking capacity. It's one thing to say, yeah, people looking at Vincy Mas, but is that another thing to go and engage, sit, meet with people, have conversations, sell the product in person, right? I now seeing promoters like Hova taking Carnival to Dubai. Seeing the promoters of Flair in St. Vincent taking Flair to New York. You understand? So it's now for us to now take these products mainstream. Mainstream meaning some very weird countries that we don't know about. We still don't have the French people coming to Vinci Mas yet. Martinique and down in those places. Um my other vision, well, there's a lot of things in this vision, and as I said, it's not going to happen now. It's going to happen over a period of time. Over a period of time, it is for us to see CDC as a corporation, as a hub where we can train our carnival makers, where they can see us as agents for them, where they can see it as a place where, as a young artist, you can come and feel at home before you're thrown into the oceans with the shark of the 10 days of carnival, right? So you want to learn about stagecraft, you want to learn about booking, you want to learn about your press kit, you want to learn about branding, you want to learn about imaging. These are things that, we should be able to facilitate, whether it's direct or indirect. Um, some of the cliche things that the now things that you're going to see, you're going to see a better packaged Vinci Mass event, the packaging of it, not just the look, not just the setup, but the feel, the time management. And we have heard it before. The shows are too long, this and that. You're going to see that. You're going to see more active participation and engagement from us as a CDC. So at no point in time, you're not going to know where the venue is, how you're going to enter, which gate you're going to enter, what's happening on the next day, who, and so keep engaging our patrons. We're going to address the food issue. There are persons who say they come home and by the time they're done a party, the only thing left to eat is something by Yankee. So we're going to do a food village. So you could go there and get food midday. You could go there and get food after work. You could go there and get food 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. These are things that we've heard before. You're going to see a bit more of a local content. We need more live shows. A lot of our artists are not being booked, and that is an issue, because if the artists are not getting booked, then they can't pay their producers, and if they can't pay their producers not producing music because they're not being paid. So we're going to look at that. We're going to be moving around a lot of our venues. We're going to be repackaging a lot of our shows, but most importantly is it's just looking at where we're coming from and where we're going and what the future holds for Vinci Mas. There are a lot more to the vision, but as I said, I won't be able to say everything now, but I give you some stuff in a nutshell. And for me, is really looking back at some of these nostalgic things that used to happen. Street bars is a big thing. Street bars is very dear to my heart. I remember when Miss Small used to take me down to town. She go by the bankyard, and when you see the monkey band come here, run. You know what I mean? Those things are very dear to me. One thing that we're going to look at is our senior citizen. Because my mother might like Soca Manak, but she don't want to be in the lines with these young people who just try to get into Hey Fireman or to Hey Skinny Fabulous. So we're going to try to create some sort of separation for the senior citizen so that they can, get ease of access. There are some other things that I am going to be looking at, like the psychographics of the audience, our patrons, our people, especially those who are coming home and the local people. We're going to be looking at things as attitude, the desires, the interests, the behavior, you know what I mean, the demands. These are things that we're going to look at. So the vision is pretty much broad, but we're going to try to see how much we could narrow down and how much we can get done. I mean, marketing, we have really put a lot of energy into marketing so far. Ezzy and the team, Jenard Food, Karen Vera, they are the ones who are responsible for our marketing. And of course, we're taking our marketing beyond with the tourism authority. And yes, there's something special that is coming at the launch from tourism authority. You have to look out for that. But I'm just excited. I'm just excited to just lay this vision out. But most importantly, I would say this: the months that people used to consider as dead time for CDC, there's no longer any dead time for CDC. What you usually call dead time is actually going to be an active time, because right after Carnival, we're going to start looking at training. We're going to start going back at the drawing board. We're going to look at being export ready. We're going to look at packaging, because again, as I said, we have to then start building our networking capacity. So for the next month or two, as we move into the high season, these are some of the things that you can look forward to from the Carnival Development Corporation and Vincy Mars. And Vincy Mars don't only mean CDC, because we're going to foster better relationships with our promoters, our event managers, our service providers, everybody who is a part of this fabric. So that is another vision, to have a better working relationship. I mean, for us to understand our role as a CDC, for private promoters and event managers to understand their role also, because we all make up this festival. And I use the word festival and not carnival, because we're not going to treat it as a festival. Festival includes food, fashion, music, entertainment, security, you name it. That is what we're going to pay attention
Wait,
to.
hold on. Man, you had I had the same kind of edits like you. We're going to talk about them and come back. Okay, let me play a song. Then we invite Mr. Ezzy Roberts into the thing.
There's only one way to do it. Yeah, 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 yeah. This is how we just do it. Last night wasn't your last night, but today could be your last day.
Speaking to Mr. Rodney Small.
Hey.
Mr. Ezzy Roberts coming on next.
Today, yeah, yeah. Yesterday was yesterday, but tomorrow we don't know. So let we commemorate this date, yeah. And let me do this one big, 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 gigantic, bombastic. Let me do this big, 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 real big, fantastic. So put your hand in the air and let me do this in grand style. In grand style, celebrating a fine style.
Yeah, familiar man.
Fine style.
Brand new James P.
Huge, red huge. Yeah, we do this monstrous, boisterous. All of us put something up in the air. Raise it for the world to see. Let me agree every day. Write it in history and embrace the moment. Let me cherish the moment and enjoy the vibes while we are alive. And let me tell you, this no type of fighting. No.
Yes, man. We talking to Mr. Rodney Small. Mr. Ezzy Roberts gonna join us right about now. Good night, Mr. Ezzy Roberts.
Good night.
Yeah, welcome.
You and all our listeners, wherever they are, you know. And you know, it is with the technology I've been here, waiting for, since you started, like 2 minutes after you get started, and to log out, trying to log back in. I was in the waiting room, but you guys want to tape me. I was listening and watching. Now I wasn't able to see me until I log in. I just like log out and log back in a second time.
All right, nice. So Mr. Roddy is giving us his vision. So tell us
Yeah,
a little bit of marketing in your department. What you guys gonna be doing for Carnival?
Well, we have added another element of the marketing team. I mean, it was a difficult task, you know, having to do everything as a one-man marketing unit for the last couple of years. So we finally decided to add another grouping that can assist with the digital side of the marketing. And so far, we have seen great results. I must say that the marketing, the general public quite impressed with what has been happening with marketing thus far this year. So the entire team has been pushing and trying the best to, make sure the Vincy Mars word is out there. I don't think they have anyone right now who might be able to say they're not aware that Vincy Mars is being launched next Saturday. I think we have used the mediums and has gotten the message out there. I think,
Right.
in fact, a lot of persons are looking forward to the launch of Vincy Mars.
Nice. And somebody else they saw it advertising St. Martin's Carnival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
St.
yeah,
Thomas, St. Thomas.
St. Thomas, yeah,
yeah,
St. Thomas, sorry, St. Thomas, yeah.
let me tell you something too. I'm glad you mentioned that because we go to Trinidad and we do promotions, but a lot of people don't realize when you go to Trinidad and you do promotion, this Trinidad is not for Trinidadians only and not only for the persons who are there. We have arrangement with a PR company that will normally do stories and send them and have them published, and they send me back the links showing these articles and these stories that they encourage various mediums in Canada, the UK, in the US, in the Virgin Islands, and so forth. And as it is, this year we were able to cover about 9 countries outside of Trinidad that carried stories on Vincy Mass, showing the promotion that we did while in Trinidad. And apart from that, when we do our promo on Synergy, Synergy is also being viewed in 19 other territories outside of Trinidad and Tobago. So when we do it, I mean, we are physically in Trinidad, but we are reaching persons across our network,
Oh, nice, nice, nice. So
including the Synergy social media platforms. They carry it, so not just on television, but on the social media platforms of Synergy as well.
oh,
Yeah.
that's nice, nice. So you could tell us anything about the Randy, tell us a lot about the promotion for the starting in New York and Vincy launch. Anything else on your side that you want to tell at it?
Well, the promotions will continue this year. One of the changes that we're going to make in terms of our marketing. In the past, we would have had the radio stations carrying the ads for all the events. Now, what we're gonna do this year is to focus certain radio station with certain. We're going to align events with radio station based on their demographics. So you would find for the junior shows, we would put those on particular radio stations. For shows like Soca Monarch and like for shows like the Soca Monarch could be advertised across the board because the demographic for Soca Monarch is wide. Okay, but for like the junior shows and for example, the Calypso shows, the radio station that would play Calypso and that where the Calypso lovers tend to listen and so on. So we're gonna focus a lot of attention on those. So we're gonna streamline the traditional type of marketing even further. Apart from strengthening the social media and social platforms, we're gonna also be strengthening the way we push on the traditional media as well.
Nice, nice, nice. So Randy, there's a question for you. Somebody's asking why how come Junior Panorama is not on the program?
That is not true.
Yeah, it's
Junior
there.
Panorama is on the calendar. But what we did this year, and it was a recommendation from the Europan movement, which I was the president or still the president of, which I am making a transition, where the vice president is now the acting president. We decided the Europan movement decided that they would want to make it a full day of pan music. So Junior Panorama is going to continue to start at 2 p.m. as usual. Then it's normally end at 6 or 7 p.m. According to how things run. And then Steel and Glitter, which is Senior Panorama and Mass, would start at 8. So there's a 1 hour break, which we're not going to have a break. We're going to fuse it so everything runs into each one another. So we're going to celebrate Pan, everything Pan on that one day. I mean, persons have to understand that you have to also embrace changes, right? You have to try things to see what would work and what would not work. Eh, Nothing that is happening right now happened without a try. I mean, the guy who invented the light bulb, you know how much time you try before you get right? I
Yeah.
mean, carnival is not a trial error, but we also have to explore and listen to the young people and try to be a bit more innovative. So it's a day for Pan, it's a day for the family. You understand? So you could come to Junior Pan at 2 p.m. You bring your cooler, you bring your ice box, you bring your beach chair, you bring your towel, you bring whatever you want to bring. And then you could still look at the kids, and then you could also stay with the kids and let them embrace what the seniors are doing. Now, what you find happening, a lot of the junior kids are now playing in senior panorama. You understand? So it's a day where the pan side just have one course. Before, they used to have to pay a cost to come down for junior pan, and then they pay another cost to come down for senior pan. So we look at the economics there also. But what we are saying, and what the European movement is saying, this is a full day to celebrate steel pan music. It has been done all over the world. Antigua did it before. Trinidad did it before. Now Trinidad is moving their medium band final panorama to Tobago, where they're moving all the bands from Trinidad to Tobago. That is something they tried. And you know what happened when they tried? They got through.
Yeah,
So
you must try. You must try. Yeah.
let me try something.
You can't keep
The year
the
when
same.
the year when CDC decided that we're going to put a Coney Island in Kiddies Carnival is one of the best years for both entities, Mass and the CDC. We try. So I mean, we have to embrace these things. We persons will talk about, oh, it's the same old thing, same old thing. But now we are trying to be innovative. We are trying things. People are still, I mean, not that I'm giving it any sort of attention, but I just want persons to know that if we are talking about innovation, if we are talking about doing things differently, you also have to allow the CDC, you have to allow the different associations to try new things. So it is on the calendar. It is on the calendar, right? I'm not sure if that person who asked the question didn't see the right calendar, but it is on the calendar, and this is a full day to celebrate pan, steel pan.
That's good. See, that's why you're here tonight, man. They give us.
Yeah, are you ready to clear up everything, Anna?
Yeah.
Because
Like that.
because after tonight, I don't have the time to clear up and clarify anything.
Yeah,
I mean, I have a lot of work and a lot of eyes on the CDC. And after Carnival Wednesday, I want to lay down in my bed and I could say thank you, Jesus. We have gifted the Vincentian public and persons who are visiting a very good gift, and that's all.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I hear from CDC. You guys see wanna decorate the city. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Most definitely. Most definitely. And Ezzy probably might get vexed with me because Ezzy in marketing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to decorate Kingston. We're going to decorate it like how we decorate for independence.
Independence.
I mean,
Yeah.
you have to feel it. I know this year is all about a feel, you know. I mean, you ask about the vision. All right, it's about the feel. If we don't pull on your heartstrings, then we're not doing what we're supposed to do. And a while ago, I driving from the gas station, you know, and Ezzy, I count 26 lamp pole. Whatever we call it, I count 26 from Castle Hill right
Uh-huh.
down to the tarmac, and
Yeah.
I'm putting it here now publicly. We're going to decorate those poles all the way to the tarmac, even if it's a piece of flowers.
That road to the tarmac, man. Road to the tarmac.
Road to the launch, and that is for next
Yeah.
week. This was
Yeah.
not discussed. This was not thing, but it's just, and that's what we need. You drive around and you see things. I mean, as he could tell at that time when Ezzy would come and say, "Boy, fellas, boy, ting." That is what it's all
Yeah.
about. And I mean,
Gotta get
promoters,
feedback.
they do the same thing, right? So, I mean, we would like to decorate as much as we can, but we're going to focus for the main town, and we have sponsors who are ready to jump in on it. I put out a post there and say, if the CDC asks you to come and help, and Colin, I felt so good. The amount
Yeah,
of
what do you
persons who
respond?
private
Yeah.
message me and say, Rodney, when you're ready, I go bring this, I go bring that, I go help do this. So it means that all of this noise that we hear about people don't like CDC and CDC all and CDC thing, it's not really true. It's just that, I mean, people wanted just a little nudge. I mean, a little thing here and there. I mean, not that we're discounting anything that happened before, but obviously, organizations and corporations, you must go back to the drawing board. You must go back to that vision board and say, all right, guys, all right, time to revamp, time to move here, move there, you know. So yeah, the city. I mean, and if you have anything to send on Colin, you could send it down to and we put it up.
Yeah.
Ezzy, anything
Yeah, man.
on your part?
If I am, I didn't hear you.
No, I'm asking if you have anything to add to it.
If you have to enter into what?
No, if you have anything to add to
Oh,
what
oh,
we're on
to
the-
add.
yeah.
If I have anything to add, okay. yes, what I would like to say, I just like to echo what Rodney just mentioned there. The fact that we the CDC can't do it alone. We depend on the business sector and the public generally, and I must say so far, when it comes to the launch and for Carnival in general, as we meet with different stakeholders and so on, I guess you would have seen on social media where we posted some of the photos, some of the meetings that took place. And the response to these are quite positive. So the support from the public is there. The support from the business community, I must say, also quite positive this year. We are seeing some sponsors, some persons willing to come on board that we didn't have before. So that support is there. But in terms of when we're going to do the actual physical setup, it'll be nice to have persons, those who have committed and others, to come along and assist with the decoration and be a part of it. I think when people participate in things, they take ownership. They feel that they feel a part of it, and they would encourage others to do so. Because if we do it at the launch, when we do it at the launch, with the participation of these people, when we get down into Kingston, closer to Carnival, we're gonna be doing Kingston. You would find these people come out again, and they would also bring others with them. So we're looking forward to that support in terms of that help to decorate the top for Vincy Mars 2025.
Yeah,
Colin, don't move on. Don't move on. We ain't done.
no,
You drop the
I
gun
like
or
what
no?
I like what I
Yeah.
hear it. I like what I hear
Uh,
it.
No, I find so, and you know what? I never not say it, but we're also going to activate the airport.
yes,
I
that
mean,
too.
we're going to decorate the airport, but we are going to activate the airport. When you land down, it's a mini stage, it's a mini bacchanal, it's a mini thing.
Yeah,
And then while you land
entertainment.
down, you're gonna have entertainment, you're gonna have samples.
Yeah,
So if you ain't eat a
yeah,
duck in a long time, you get a piece of duck now. If you ain't
yeah.
eat a red belly a
A
long time, you
punch.
get a piece of red belly. You understand?
Yeah,
You might get a little rum punch here. So
and
while
a
they
little
wait,
and a
once you
lime
get
soda.
a bag, this is what's gonna happen now. From the first person, the first plane will land and get the experience. You know everybody who they behind who come in. They're going to hear about the experience. So you know
You listen to their show too.
we have a double up on the Dukana and double up on the red belly. You understand? And even that, the activation at the airport, a lot of sponsors have said that I want to be a part of that.
Yeah,
So we want you to embrace again. Come back to what I said. It's all about a feel.
yeah.
You understand? Sometimes you might doubt airport and security might have to tell you, hey man, I have to go. You understand? So we're trying to look at um some unconventional things that you wouldn't see the CDC doing. I mean, it's just for us to align ourselves with a lot of the global practices, the global best practices of the entertainment world. I mean, there's different activations that would be happening. So it's building the atmosphere, building the vibe. You know what I mean? Creating that because we don't want you come home and just go in there maybe each for a couple hours and then come back and sleep and then wait for the show in the night. We strictly jamming.
I mean, early on, right? Rodney mentioned there's something that will be coming at the launch, which you'll be able to see, and some interesting sites and places for visitors to go, and things for people to do while they come for Carnival. You'll be able to see that showcase at the launch. You'll be able to see these things on screen and so on, and tickle the curiosity of persons who are coming for Carnival, or even persons who are coming outside of Carnival. Give them a little taste, a little view of things they can do in Simpson outside of going to the parties, the fets, and the shows and so forth. Because it's important that we keep persons engaged. We don't want persons to be here for Carnival, and the only thing we can do is go to the fets and so on. During the day, there's nothing to do. So we basically going to be showing you when you're here for Carnival, these are other things you can do. These are places that you can go to and enjoy. You have to enjoy, make your stay even better, apart from enjoying the festivities in terms of the fets and the shows.
Yeah, that'll be important for parents who having kids coming in because that one of our biggest problem. We bring our kids back home. There's like, yo, there's nothing to do. So if you guys could help out the parents in that regards, I'd be really appreciated.
Yeah,
I
man,
mean,
definitely.
we could also encourage it too. The private promoters can also get involved in this.
Yeah,
Some of the private promoters only have one event. Nothing is wrong with putting on something in the day for the kids who are here on
yeah,
vacation. So
yeah,
sometimes we have to be able to widen the scope. You understand? We have to be able to, and that's what the CDC is trying to do. You understand? We're trying to widen the scope, and we're encouraging business owners, other private promoters to look into these other things that we're not tapping into. There's a whole big market there for the children. You know? A
Yeah,
whole big man. Because you know why the children can't go alone. So Colin, you and your 5 children, you have to go with them.
You have to
yeah.
spend you have to spend money.
Spend money to get the children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
fellas, let me give my vision, right? I hear you guys
Alright.
saying thing. I think carnival was. I think we start to put carnival as a national, make it like a national festival, and also carnival. It's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be like a national festival. I just say, as soon as you touch down Argyle, you're feeling Vincy. You go in the taxi. You're supposed to hire Vincy. We want the taxi man to play our music too in the taxi. You go to a rum shop. Vincy music again. No, give us the whole Vincy experience because everybody Grenada had their experience, Trinidad had their thing. So I think it's time enough we bring back the Vincy vibes, man. Anywhere you go, the hotels, the restaurants, anywhere you go, you must feel like in St. Vincent. That's my vision for the carnival, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm in agreement with you, that we need that feel, and like I mentioned earlier, the CDC can't do it alone. It would be nice to have these persons, these different entities, which are participate at different levels within the carnival, taxi service, car rental companies, the shops, the little bars, and so
Yes.
on. Everybody has to play their role in creating that vibe and that buzz for Vincy Mass. And utilizing the music to do it is one way in which you can do it. And earlier on in the discussion, like I said, I was listening while waiting to come in, and the discussion, it was mentioned within the discussion that the issue relative to the DJ, and Rodney mentioned the fact that some artists not being hired as much. And so when you look at this carnival calendar, Vincy Mars calendar, the CDC calendar, that is a number of our events. At our events, we are hiring artists. Our events are primarily competition based, but we nevertheless have to hire artists to provide entertainment, artists and DJs outside of those the competitors. We do live bands, stage shows, and so on. These are the things that CDC is involved in. So if you look at the competitors, as in the promoters events, I don't want to say competitors, but the other events are organized by promoters. Um, you hardly gonna see stage show, for example. You're gonna hardly see artists being hired. They are more DJ based events, and a number of the DJs hardly play local music. That's one of the challenge. Now, mind you have some foreign DJs will come to St. Vincent. Very interesting scenario. You have foreign DJs will come to St. Vincent and will play serious repertoire of Vincy music mixed with foreign music. Now, because we are not here to advocate that we play 100% Vincy music. That's not the call. But you have to be able to blend the music, the foreign, big foreign tunes and so on, and the local songs. And some DJs come here from overseas and they do an excellent job at it. And on the other hand, you have locals who live here who have access to all the music. And when they go on to play their rotation, now it's a different story altogether. So we have to get our DJs to really recognize their role and the importance of them. Pushing the local guys, playing the music and so forth and things like that at events. We have to get the promoters to start hiring these artists. Let them see. We shouldn't have to force anybody to do it. People should recognize that the music of these artists, right? These artists produce the music, and this music helps to sell Vincy Mars. So when persons come for Vincy Mars, it's only fair that these artists who spend the money to record the music and so on, that they get a chance to perform live and be paid for their performances and so on. So basically it's an appeal to the DJs and to the promoters.
Yes. So, Mr. Randy Small, I think this is your biggest problem and the hardest. If you conquer the DJ, half your job finished right there. Because even though we promote and produce good music, if the music is not being played and heard,
All
we're wasting our time. You know what I mean? So, I think you really have to do something with the DJ in Seven, so man.
But I don't know. But no comment. No comment. I mean,
I
there are
don't say it.
persons who have been there's persons who have been fighting this battle before me. I just think um it has to be something from within. I don't feel like there's anybody who could change that for you as a DJ. And I mean, it just have to be something that you have to just embrace and know that it is a part of who you are as a Vincentian and the industry that you're a part of, and the value and the work that you bring to the festival. The most we could do is continue to encourage them and continue to educate them, because when we play a lot of these outside music, our export, our royalties export is very high. And I
Yeah.
mean, and we have to be careful because we're a small industry. A lot of these DJs are friends of the artists, but you're not paying your friend music. I mean, that's something that is very baffling. I just feel it's an
Yeah.
individual thing. And I mean, the most we can do as a CDC is encourage until we have the Bureau of Standards who can come in and set some regulations, some laws, and some policies. Again, the most we can do is encourage. But I just feel like it should be a personal thing to know that I'm a DJ, I'm an artist. A DJ is also an artist, a performer. Know that this is my role in all of this. I mean, we have what, about 10 months or how much ever months to do whatever we want to do. I mean, for the festival, we have over 300 artists. And right now, I hear is about 10,000 songs we get for Vincy Mars 2025. So you have options. Some may be good, some may not be good. But we also have a full catalog that is even before majority of us that we could pick from. Our royalties export is too high. It is way too high.
Yeah.
You understand? So we could only encourage Colin. And I mean, and I
No,
have a
no,
big
no,
you up too. I
no,
have a
no, no,
big
no.
you
Wait,
up too.
hold on. I think you're going too easy on the DJs, man. This thing has happened over 10 years. I hear Ezzy, I follow Ezzy, every carnival, Ezzy saying DJ. Da. I personally think they
Boy.
need to have rules. If the DJs and the promoters do not want to play our music, they should not be taking part in our carnival. That's how I feel about it. It will be radical, man. Because if they don't want to change, you have to do something radical. Because it's unfair to me. If I come in St. Vincent, okay, for me personally, if I come in St. Vincent, my ticket is $2,000 plus rental, hotel, food, almost $10,000, and you give me a Chini experience. I don't want that. I want a
Correct,
Vincy
correct,
experience.
correct.
Yeah.
Um,
And I would tell you so. I had an experience one time, right? And I will call the name. There was a party in Honestly. I love rum. And one of the DJ crew that were playing Back to Basics. Listen, these guys came on and they played Zola, they played um Posa, they played Beckett, Scorcher, so. But they were not playing them after each other. They were blending them in with songs of that year. And the guys did it so skillfully. It was an excellent repertoire. When they finished playing, I said to a DJ a local DJ that played before them, boy, these guys really kicking. You know what he said to me? Boy, the men did the homework. I said, what? You live here, you make a man come from wherever I'm telling me back there, you homework. You know? And then I went to Chow when Mad Russian came for the first time, came to Celebrate for the first time. And listen, this guy tore that party apart with a blend of local music. And he had the comments he was making was so appropriate towards his songs that he showed that he did his homework. He understood what he was doing, and the locals who were and local DJs who were on that event didn't get the kind of forward that this guy got. I mean, so sometimes we can just force it. Some people say, oh, you shouldn't bring foreign DJs. If you bring the foreign DJs they're going to lick you with a lot of foreign music, that's a different story. But if they come in and they're playing these type of repertoires that really include a lot of Hindi music, we have to appreciate them. You know,
Yeah,
being
yeah.
a local doesn't mean that you're gonna play local. You know what I mean? That's the point.
Yeah. But,
Colin,
wait,
what I would tell you,
one minute,
right,
We gotta say some prayer for him back to basic because I understand he's sick, very sick
correct,
right now. Yeah,
correct,
very sick.
correct.
So
Oh,
And
yeah.
I
encourage
didn't know.
persons to go out and support. There's some initiatives
Yeah,
that you know what I mean we need to support.
I think they have a
Mm-hmm.
GoFundMe going on for
For
him
me,
right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
but
all right.
but but Colin, I would say this, and I didn't want to touch on this simply because we're going to have a meeting and we're going to have a press briefing. But as a part of the vision going forward, there are going to be some things that we're going to be regulated. And I know sometimes as Caribbean people, especially as Vincentian, we don't like to embrace change. But for us to preserve, as I mentioned, as part of the vision, preserve what we have to put things in place. And I know some of the promoters might be upset, some of the DJs might be upset, but they will get over it and they would understand why. And they would
Yeah,
understand in the long run, we all would benefit. And it's not
yeah,
that the CDC or some of the authorities are trying to bring this muscle or this fist. It's just for us to say, listen, we have to take care of what is ours. You understand? So I would save the comments of those things for the press briefing. You understand? I know you just You just premiere some big things, Colin.
I big
but
things tonight. I big things
yeah,
tonight.
but I can't premiere that one yet. But it's just for us to understand our role.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, it would be ideal for us to say, all right, we're not going to sanction any event unless you can guarantee us 100% Vincy music. I mean, it would be nice for us to say that, but again, as I say, the press briefing, we would touch on some of these new regulations.
Yeah, we need
that
personally we need it. It's too long. These DJs and promoters doing what they want. I don't. You know why I'm so mad? Because I'm passionate. I'm listening to Trenda radio station, and they do an interview, and they ask the DJ, "When you go Saint Vincent, how you know what to play?" The man said, "The promoter say play anything." What? That's what the man
And
said.
trust me,
And then
that
says
DJ talking the truth.
the man said the
That
promoter
DJ
say
talking the truth.
play anything.
Yeah.
well, we are
Yeah.
starting it at the launch. Remember, I explained the DJs that we're having at the launch. We are telling them what to play. You understand? We're telling
Love
them
that.
what to play, and we're giving them some significance. So it's giving you some value, some worth. So somebody have to play road match, somebody have to play raga soca, somebody have to play soca, and then somebody could just generally give us some.
A
I
mix, a
mean,
blend of everything.
some yeah,
I
yeah.
love.
Because if you leave them on a Colin, all them go play the same thing, or not.
I know.
Yeah. And so far in the season already, I've heard persons me complain about, going to events that have four DJs and they playing almost the same thing.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's
Mm.
totally crazy. But as back in our day, in the 90s, you got party. Jewel play a different set. Ice Skate have a different thing.
Yeah,
Everybody have a
right.
different feel to what they used to do back in the day.
Yeah.
You know?
Now it's like copy and paste.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So we talking about our DJs them. So I noticed in Grenada last year they had a thing that they saying that two foreign artists
Yeah.
for event. What do you guys think about that?
Maximum of two foreign artists and even. No
Yeah.
promoter can do it. And the interesting thing is that decision was made not a year in advance of Carnival and a year in advance of Spice Mass. That decision was made actually close to Spice Mass.
Yes.
Let's say about 2 months in advance. The
Yes.
Spice Mass
Yes.
Corporation had a meeting with the promoters. They sat down to discuss. It was a cordial meeting. From all reports, all media houses reported on it. And the promoters agreed to cooperate. And they went along with it. No hassle. Nobody just Spice Mass Corporation saw no negative posts about them. And so on. And I'll tell you, Grenadians are really patriotic. So I'm not surprised by that because they look out for their country.
Yes.
Grenadians are like that. I have to big up the Grenadians. So for real.
Yeah. That's a good look. So Ronnie, what do you think?
Well, I think two is plenty.
Hey,
I
Yeah,
still
come
think two is
on.
plenty.
nah, two is
Oh,
good.
no.
Yeah, that's a good mix. Two is good. Two is
I mean,
good.
don't get me wrong, right? I'm all about Caribbean integration. I'm all about, collaboration. Say all you want. I can guarantee you right now, Colin, between me, you, Ezzy, Rachel, and all the wonderful people who are listening to this live, you can call 5 promoters right now and ask how much of them are bringing a foreign artist. And I could bet you 90% of them, they are not doing it, right? For many reasons, right? For many, many reasons, right? So I think slowly but surely we are moving away from it. Now, I don't mind a foreign artist coming who have a collaboration with one of our artists. I don't mind that, right? I don't have a problem with that. But I think we're at a place where our artists can carry our festival.
100%.
I personally feel that. Look at the global market. Who are the leading soca artists?
Kevin,
Okay,
we have
Skinny Fabulous,
skinny, we have problem.
Problem Child. Everywhere you see one of them foreign artists, Skinny or Problem Child did it. Not even Marshall. I don't know if it's
Yes.
because they can't afford Marshall or whatever it is, but anyway, you have a major soca event in this world, Skinny and Problem Child is there. We have
Facts.
James EP, we have Kevin Little, we have Wetty Beats, we have Fireman, we have
Uh,
a full list of them. I
yes.
personally feel, I Rodney Small as Rodney, not the CEO guys, feel that we can carry a festival without any foreign artists. I'm not against any of them, right? I am not against any of them. I could tell you personally as Rodney where we need to put that regulation on. But people might vex with me, which again, I don't mind. But because we're not seeing, and as he could tell you, we're not seeing a big influx of foreign artists coming into our carnival like before anymore, right? What we're seeing is a big influx of who?
DJs.
DJs.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, man.
I
I'm
mean,
looking.
I don't have any problem with integration, right? What my thing is that let we fix we house. Let we
Yes.
fix up we house. Let we make sure we house in order. Because as he could tell you, you understand? We basically trying to spend the money that we have, the little pittance as old people would say that we have, and invest it in our artists, in our people.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, I love.
I
I
mean, you
love
would
that.
see it. You would see it. People would ball out and say, boy, should you see what foreign artists? But the money that we're going to spend for a foreign artist, you could possibly pay three or four local artists. You know that?
Exactly. I keep the money circulating, right?
And I could tell you something
Yeah.
about the industry now. After COVID-19, the entertainment industry, there has been an increase in prices for the
Yeah,
entertainment.
boy.
You know what a
Yeah, these
promoter told
prices
me?
have gone up by
You know what a
far
promoter told me,
significant
Colin?
increases.
Yeah.
You know what a promoter told me, Colin, and for those who are listening to me? Back then, when you could get a foreign artist for 3,000 US, there's no more 3,000 US artists. It's 10,000 and up the road. And if it's an
Yeah.
artist will now get a hit song, it's
Yeah.
15 and 18,000 up the road. Some is 75,000, some is 45,000. And mind you, if there are promoters who can afford that, I mean,
Fine.
no problem. But
Mm-hmm.
as a corporation who is responsible for the preservation of this culture, this festival, we have to be mindful of how we deal with these things. And we are going to continue to be mindful. I sat in a room today with approximately about 15 artists, and I look at each and every one of their face and the sense of belonging that you're seeing, that they're being appreciated, that they're given the opportunity. Because we could have simply said, boy, this is that DJ launch, you know. The launch is free
Yeah.
now. I don't know if I mentioned that. You're not paying to come to the launch. The
Absolutely.
CDC don't have any bars. The bars belongs to the components. So
Components.
there's no revenue
Revenue.
activity for the CDC. You know why? Because of our mandate. We understand our mandate, but the dance also have to pay for the light. So we have to be mindful that we can't go spend 15,000 US or 40,000 US for an artist, and the tickets is only 40 and $50, and then our artists are not getting work. When our artists are not getting work, you know what happen? A man might go take off a shovel, a man might go sit down in an office, a man might go migrate because he's not making any money as an artist, and we start losing our people.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
I mean,
real.
Yeah.
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 it's a whole different
So
set of
we
things that we
prefer
have to
to put the
consider.
money behind our local guys
You
and
know what I
encourage
mean?
them to, continue to produce great music because music is one of the sellers of Vincy. I'm telling you, I have to give credit to our artists. James, if he had a big up James, if he had that track, I actually love that new song that he just released. And kudos to James, not just as a singer and as a known artist, but as a writer who would have written a number of hit songs for other artists outside of singing. And that's the other thing. We have to look at our entertainment product holistically, not just the artists who go out there and perform, but we have very good producers, we have good writers and so forth. A number of our artists have written songs that are made hit songs for other artists, extra regionally. So, regionally and extra regionally. So, um, I'm happy for the great music that has been out so far. I just mentioned James. We have a number of other artists who have released songs and they are growing. I have heard songs that have not been released as yet. Person have given me a little sneak peek into what they have, and so I can safely say we have some really good music coming out, and we'll be out in another week or two, maybe 3 weeks down the road, and so forth. So I'm looking forward to great music overall for the season. And I have full confidence in our artists that they will deliver. But for the guys who are released, the guys and ladies who are released thus far, we have a new artist as an Angie. She just started singing maybe a year or two ago. And so on, she have a song that's doing really good as a female artist. We have Kelly J and so forth. And we still have Fire and Press doing her thing. Kudos to all the female artists. I don't want to start calling everybody to say I imitated and so on. But we really have to recognize the females and to the artists generally continue to do their thing and give us great music for the best.
Yeah. So I have an idea. You guys tell me for the like the idea, right? I think we need to have like get
You
our
copyright it.
No, not copyright. We reach
Ca-
copyright.
ca- If you, if you put an
Oh.
ID here and we check it, you can't come cry for it,
No, I for the no, no, I for
Well,
the
you,
I for the culture. I for the culture.
All
No,
right,
that's
all
cool.
right, go ahead. Sorry.
I think we need to have a writing camp for our carnival. If I could just imagine if all the top writers and the producers come together. And we just say we making music for the festival, Man just writing songs and producing songs. Man give Kevin a song, make something everybody nice. I think that could really do good for our festival, man. Because we have plenty good writers, James the Peace, Problems, Skinny,
yeah.
Fire, Scorpion, all the man come together. I think we could really make a big difference for our carnival, man.
To be honest, there have been quite a number of writing camps that I'm aware of. I think Mark Cyrus and people like Harry Khan and Kobayashi at one time, not one time, more than one time, they have had these writing camps. But the thing about it, you would see all of the experienced artists going to it, and the young artists would not go. Just like when we have a lot of workshops and all that, you don't see these young artists. But I think it's something that needs to be encouraged in the what we used to call off season, right? I mean, preparing, because I also had a conversation with Problem, and he wants to do something that is speaking towards the whole packaging of your recordings, and the quality of your recordings and how you record in a studio as an artist. So there's quite a number of things that we're going to look at. I mean, directly after the festival.
Oh, nice, nice.
And the point that Rodney made is important that we have to let our young artists, the guys who started within the last years, they have to understand that you may have a song in a particular year that that was popular. So you don't need to think that you know it all. You have to learn from the more seasoned guys. So when we put on these writing camps and these artists are coming to share their knowledge and their experiences with you, you're appealing to the artists to come forward and learn. Because in my view, I've I've heard a number of songs that were released and did okay during a carnival season, but they fell off after carnival. And those ideas and those concepts were good, but they were not developed to become great songs, right? And if they had a little guidance with the writing, or they had some assistance with the writing, those songs could have been hits, real big hit songs. But they have a good concept, but they run with it two, three lines, boom, and so on, and they have a hook line, and that's it. But a great song is beyond just a hook line. So I mean, a little help with the writing would make these artists go much further.
Yeah, because even our top artist Beckett said before he released a song, he have people he was send it to check it out,
Yeah,
and they fix what I had to fix before he released the song. So need
yeah,
somebody, yes. Because some artists will
right.
say, boy, that's running in the studio, boy, half an hour the thing done.
Yeah, yeah. Like a roast up. That's what you call a roast up.
I know. So, Mr. Ezzy, I have a question to you because I hear people asking, when you guys do promotion, right? Who
Uh-huh.
chooses this? Who chooses this song to you and the flyer? Because some people say they don't like this song is not appropriate for what all you're doing. I don't say that a lot.
Well, the thing is, you would always have opinions like those, and we gotta live with stuff like that because you'll never be able to choose a song that everybody thinks should be used. You know, so it's just something we within the marketing and other folks within we might decide, okay, we're working with this song for this year. This is our theme song, or even for a particular event, we're using a particular song and so on. But it's difficult to arrive at a consensus where every last person is going to agree with the song of choice. So it's just something that we gotta live.
Okay, nice. Mr. Randy Small, up to you now. I hear some people saying we using the slogan the hottest carnival. Some people say it's time to change it into that we don't party now, man. Everybody had their own slang they don't want to use. What's your take?
But that
I could
has
tell
been
you.
a discussion. Go ahead.
I could tell you. I could tell you what's my take personally. I could tell you what's the CDC take. Um, we've been in conversation about this since we started meeting as a board and even as the shows committee. If you notice, it's very subtle here and there. if people are paying attention, there's some very subtle messaging, some very subtle things that is going to create the transition for a lot of things. Um, Maybe during 2025 or after 2025. But I really think that it's time for a change. Me personally, it's
Yeah.
something that I've recommended along with other board members. Um, Quite naturally, we have to. Everybody have the artist carnival, you know. So it's no longer a unique tagline. Everybody, and I mean, everybody feel that their carnival is the best. I mean, so we have to find something that speaks to us directly, that you as a Vincentian could feel good about. I don't feel good about the artist carnival in the Caribbean because, and I
Yeah.
mean, that is very subjective. That could create a lot of arguments. I mean, which is not something that we really care about. But I will love for us to find something that is direct, something that represents who we are as a people. And I mean, and yeah, so the conversation is happening, Colin. The conversation is happening. It's happening.
Yeah,
It's happening.
and just to
And
share,
I don't want I don't want persons to think that the CDC don't have eagle eyes, you know. We have a lot of eagle eyes. You know, these days when you apply for a job, the company go on your social media and they watch. So the CDC, we have some eagle eyes. We watch and we listen. Our ears is on the ground.
yeah. Just to say too, like Rodney, I too believe that this is my personal opinion that we should make a change as a person who go out there and do interviews, have to be interviewed by various journalists, whether on radio, television, newspaper, any media. You're often faced with that as one of the first questions persons ask. Because it's a kind of it's a challenging type of tagline. Suppose they ask, well, how come you come to this country to promote your carnival, but you say you have the hottest carnival in the Caribbean, and you have to explain the hottest in terms of the spirit of the Vincentian when we go to party. We don't party normal. Really says it in terms of how we party. But we use the tagline, the hottest carnival in the Caribbean, because of the vibe and the energy of our people when we party. That's where the tagline came from. That's why if you notice, if you look around these t-shirts, you see that flaming V. That's part of the logo, the symbol is the heat, which comes from our energy and our vibe. So we're having to explain that and people say, oh yeah, that is true. We notice you have seen videos with you guys partying and you really different and so on. They accept that and they move along. But it is always a question that comes. It is something that comes up for question most of the time that we do interviews and so on. And not just that, I just think it be used for quite a while and it'd be nice to have something new and more direct as rabbits. I'm in agreement with that.
Yeah, liking that. So I personally think we need to use Kevin Little a little bit more for our carnival, man, because Kevin Little, he live in foreign. You know how big Kevin Little is, man. I think people say me do not realize how big. And told me last summer I went to a wedding, right? Let me tell the story. So my nephew got married and stuff. He married to an Italian lady. A lot of Italians were there, bro. The biggest song in the whole wedding was "Turn Me On." You see old people grabbing the husband and going on the floor to dance to "Turn Me On." You know how that make me feel? Yeah, man. Yo, that song still a monster out there, man. Still a monster.
Yeah. It's amazing that after 20 years, more than 20 years, and that song is still going like that. It's not a lot of artists out there that have songs that really live on that long. Most of the times you have artists who have had within that time would have already had 5, 6 other monster hits, within that time. But this particular song has seemed to have an endless life. It was really a great creation coming from Vince, both the writer, singer, and producer.
Yeah. So I want to touch something that I really love. I don't think all like it too much, but for me, Soca Monarch, I love the bacon. I don't, I don't think all love the bacon like me, but I
Who tell you
personally,
that?
I personally think if you package that properly, that's a big hit. I think that, because I see Grenada taking it over, you know. I see Grenada taking over the bacon.
I
Well,
don't I wouldn't say we don't like it. And when you say all, you mean the CDC or
I
you
see.
mean Vincy?
I see CDC because I see police just want to take him and them things. So I got to say
I,
CDC.
I mean, we also have. I love it as a creative. I love it, and I will highlight something for you that you didn't realize, right? I probably might get in trouble with my board for it, but no problem, because I don't think they realize it either. Um, I think it's a matter of just safety And I always say
Yeah.
that St. Vincent, we are a yes or no country. We don't know how to regulate, right? And interestingly, we had a conversation. We had a big meeting with the commissioner of police and his management team, and the discussion was about how we can utilize this but regulate it. So, for example, if you come down in the front in this area to the left and you go into that area, you're entering at your own risk. So you know that area is for that. So Colin, if you go over there and you get your eyebrow or your lash gone off, you're entering at your own risk. Yeah, you understand? But for the police, it goes beyond the flames because actually the cans have been used as weapons before, where people get their head bust and people use it. So there are quite a number of things that we must consider, right? But there's conversation about regulating, regulating it. Now, I don't know if you have the general flyer. I see you have the launch flyer, and I see you have
Yeah.
the calendar flyer.
Calendar.
You have the general one, the one with the date, the save the date.
I'm not sure. And I have the calendar. I have the calendar. I have
Put
this
it
stuff.
put the calendar in the back of your screen quickly. Let me just show you something.
That one is New York. That's the calendar. Yeah.
Okay, you're blocking it. All right, no problem.
You want me to come out the
But
way? You want me to come out the way?
no, no, I don't think you would see it.
Okay.
Now you could see my phone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see the
Yeah, yeah,
flag.
we see that.
All right, you see where I zoom in there?
I see it's carnival. In New,
No, you see
oh, yeah, yeah,
this?
yeah, 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 yeah. I see it. I see it now. I see it. I see it.
You
Yeah,
see
yeah,
that?
yeah,
Why is
yeah.
that?
Yeah,
Why is
the
that?
big one, the big one, big one.
Pointing where?
Yeah, yeah,
Pointing
yeah,
where?
yeah, yeah.
So
I
it's
see
the
that.
big gun above the Vincy flag pointing to the flamey 2025.
I like in
Yeah.
that. I like in
A
that. I
lot of
like in
people
that.
a lot of people didn't see that. A
Right,
lot
right,
of people didn't see that in the lower thirds.
right, right.
Yeah.
Right? But I might get some expect now with board. Oh, I say, oh, so you promoted big. You know what I mean? But it is something that is a full representation of us, right? But I mean I'm not going to be here and say we're going to be irresponsible where that is concerned because I just explained to you it's nothing where we don't like the excitement of it, we don't love it. It's just there's also some
Safety
safety
aspect.
concern
Yeah.
inside it and being able to regulate how we deal with it, right?
Yeah, man.
So
I
I
think
mean, eh,
just calling the crews them, have a meeting with them, try educate them, and then work together. Everybody could work together and make it happen.
yeah, well, you
Uh,
see, looking place another thing on the table where we can have a conversation. I
Yeah,
mean, where the crews are concerned, and I mean we go from there. So
yeah,
again,
man.
we have to embrace these things. We have to have conversations, the way we communicate, because that was a big part of our conversation today, in terms of the way we communicate during this festival. Boy, everybody feel social media and the radio and the
radio. Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's the way we should communicate our concerns and all of that. But I mean, yeah, we gonna be all right. I mean,
Yeah,
this is the opportunity for us to clear up everything. If there's any queries, I know there are persons asking things about the calendar,
yeah,
some of the activities, why some of the new names and the new days.
yeah.
I mean,
We
I
got
was
to
on my phone a while ago. I was on my phone a while ago, and there were people messaging me and they have their own question.
yeah,
I
yeah.
tell you what,
We'll get to the calendar after, but there's some stuff I want to touch before the calendar, man. Yeah, yeah. So,
yeah, no problem. I just, you know what I mean? Because persons are saying, I hope all of them don't know now because I have plenty questions.
and we had time, man. But as anytime more, yeah, we had time. We just like I'm late. Yeah, but I mean, like when I was in primary school, right? Rejector used to come like carnival time. Rejector used to come to the premise because he went to Anglican primary school. I went Anglican primary school. He
You want
used to come.
Anglican, boy?
Yeah, man.
Your tongue, man?
I countryman tongue. Original. I just say Stubbs, man, because Stubbs people get mad at me. When I say I'm from Frenchies, they get mad at me. I'm
Right,
bad
right.
Stubbs, yeah, man. So yeah, rejectors every carnival rejectors used to come to the school and walk with the kids who gonna sing. So I'm thinking, it'd be nice if the artists them could adapt a school. Go in there and help out. It'd be nice. Lift the standard.
Well, we're actually seeing a lot of that now because we've just completed the prelims of the junior Calypso and Soca Monarch. And I asked one of the Calypso rep, it was yesterday? Yesterday. One of the Calypso
Yesterday.
rep, I say, well, now Calypso Association, you have the finalists. What's next from your side?
Yeah,
And she
yesterday.
indicated to me that each senior artist, is going to adopt a child who's in the finals, right? So I feel like you either fly on the wall, Colin, or
No, no,
somebody
no, no.
feeding you information.
No, no.
But we have that, and just to put a plug here, Hans John and the Uptown Party team is one of the sponsors for
Sponsor.
the
Junior
junior
college
calypso
football.
and soca competition, and he is going to not only contribute monetary and with trophies, but he's also going to give up his time to see how much persons he can mentor. And just today, from one of the from the meeting we had today, the duo KTB and Viper
Yeah.
indicated that they want to go into all of
Going to
these
some
schools on the
schools.
leeward end
You were there.
and do some hold on and do some motivational talk, do some performances during the assemblies and all that. So you find a lot of the artists now are moving in that direction because they also can tell their story and give
Yeah.
a youngster the opportunity to tell their story when their time come. So Colin, I feel like it has be a spy in some of these meetings, eh?
No, I wrong the thing long time, man.
Right, right, right,
I pay
right.
You're
attention. I pay
feeling the
attention.
vibe, man. You're
Yeah,
feeling
yeah.
the vibe.
That's why we here every Saturday, brother. We here every Saturday promoted, you know. We pushing the thing, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that'd be real nice, man. There's a kid from Sandy Bay. He
Which
said
one?
it. Neil,
Dino,
yeah,
Dino, Dino,
he
Dino.
said in school. He said in school,
Of
Yeah.
course, Dino only the palm tree, you know.
bro. That man is special, bro.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And you know his
You know,
idol.
Patrick,
You know he look up to
Fireman.
Fireman.
It got to be.
And Fireman work with them right through. Fireman work with them right through. And it's a
yeah,
school that I'm gonna put a plug in here for. I mean, if there's anybody who's listening to me from the diaspora and you can support their program, their music program. And I mean, I want to big up Sinclair, Mitch, and Tajo. And I mean, they've been doing a lot of work with these kids, not just for Vincy Mass, but they get involved in every single thing that is happening cultural in Seminci
yeah,
and the Grenadines. The Gary
true.
Fruda Festival, the School Band Festival, the Modongo Festival, every single thing that is cultural, the school gets involved. And I mean, Mitch has a good program where he use a lot of these opportunities to give the students the avenue to go and do a thing. That's why I see Dino now. Once you tell Dino stage, he's okay. It could be 10,000 people or one person. He's ready and he's very
Yeah,
confident. And I mean, and sometimes we neglect these schools in the rural area. But I'm putting a beg out there. And I mean, people that say I'm a politician, but I'm begging for them. Anything you have in the diaspora that you could send down to help their music program, please send it down.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I had a big up at this time now that you mentioned those. He the village G would have made a contribution to the school and so on, and you had to recognize his contribution. I was looking for others like him who would also contribute towards music equipment for the school because they're really big into music. The kids have a keen interest in it, and so I really want to encourage them by always having instruments at their disposal.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully next year, our Vince there, we gonna adapt a school. I think we adapt a school. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
man.
give back.
Yeah,
I
man.
give back.
And bring them on the program.
Yeah,
Colin, bring them
yeah,
on the
Yeah,
program.
yeah,
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 Bring
yeah.
them
Colin, man.
on.
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah,
be
Well, hey,
surprised to hear
no,
your
no.
story.
That's your job. You help me out because I don't have the
All right, all
I don't
right.
have the
Well
connect.
done,
okay, all
done
right.
deal,
Yeah,
done
yeah,
deal.
That
yeah,
can be
So
done.
we're gonna have a junior calypso soca um program.
yes,
I mean,
sir.
we might have to find a way to keep them awake, eh? Because remember it's children too,
That,
right?
we could start
But
early. We could start early. We could start early
yeah,
before
I
before
could
school.
I could set that up, and
Yeah,
it would
yeah.
be
Do that for
nice
Yeah,
for
me.
yeah,
persons
that'll be nice.
to hear their story, not just Sandy Bay, but all the other
Yeah,
schools,
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
That'd be perfect,
right?
yeah,
man. Yeah, yeah.
So you could depend on us to really set that up.
You know, one thing I like what you guys did, the bands, the school bands, the
School
the
band,
school
showcase.
band
yeah,
thing,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
Yo, that is
yeah,
very, very
yeah,
nice. And this, at least I
yeah.
watched Jamaica had something like that, but the standard in Simmons was higher than Jamaica one.
okay,
No,
But you
serious.
see, the harsh reality there now is that Jamaica has the support,
Yeah,
right? I mean, a lot of these schools don't have instruments. So we kind of, I mean, originally we normally do the festival in March, but we decided that we're going to do it after, sometime in September, because we're going to do some instrument drive. We're going to try and get some instrument for the students. That's so everybody can come and be a part of the festival and not just try to patch up here and patch up there and what's not. But so we can look out for that festival in September, Colin.
Yeah. So we go back on the vegan thing. I see Jude Shepard is saying no to the vegan because people have asthma and different
Yeah.
ailments, you know?
Big up Jude. You have to big up Jude. I mean,
Yeah,
big up
boy.
Jude. Never mind,
You,
never mind. He just give me some word and thing. But as my partner,
What you
I
mean
mean,
well?
of
boy.
course, it means well totally. I mean, I grew up right below Jude Father Workshop, you know. You know what I mean? I used to have
Okay.
to pass Jude Father Workshop up Tongue. But yeah, and as I said to you, it's a health and safety issue also. So it's not that we don't want you to have that expression of utilizing the vegan. It's just that we have to be mindful of all the other persons around you. And I mean, as Jude said, it could be a sinus and an asthma issue too. So something that we have to pay very close attention to.
Yeah. So
Yeah, big up Jude, man. The man is a musical genius. One thing with Jude, Jude listen a song and can tell you, boy, this beat song like so from 1982. I want to Jude have a lot of music in his talent. Not a musician, but he knows. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a
out of, out of
storyteller,
the
man.
out of the out of the five junior panorama songs that I've won as an arranger, three of them came from Jude as a recommendation.
Okay.
wa- wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jude used to give Sign Euphonium their panorama songs every year,
Mm.
Wow.
and they win with them. All of them that Jude give to Sign, they won with. You know what I mean? So I mean, big up Jude.
Yeah, big up Jude
Yeah,
one
man.
time. Something I want to touch on Calypso. What the real problem with Calypso, man? What you guys think about Calypso? Because I grew up loving Calypso. Calypso was the biggest thing in seven, so, and then now everybody just like studying
Well,
Calypso.
I can give you my opinion as a man who was a manager of a band, was manager of a Calypso tent, Signal Station Renegades, and so on. What I noticed back when I'm gonna make a comparison, back in the day, right? I grew up as a youth man going to Calypso tent. I used to go to Lyric Cinema Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and when they have 10 Friday, I gone. Every night, and I had to go to work next day, right? But my interest in these songs came from listening to them on the radio. Back in those days, you had NBC radio only, and whatever they play is what you had to listen. So everybody was hearing the calypsos, and that drove persons to the tents. Now, lyric cinema used to be running there. You had to stand up at times, the cinema full, and you had to stand. You know what I mean? Going to calypso tent was a big thing. Now, after we have the introduction, when the introduction of FM radios commence, remember the radio station now come on stream with a particular agenda. They cater for different things, right? So you no longer could tune into one radio station and hear all the songs. So you start losing some of the opportunity to hear Calypso unless you tune into particular radio stations. And to top it off, to make matters even worse, some of the Calypsonians, they don't record the music. You'd hear a raga soca guy and a soca artist go to the studio, record the song, put it out, they get it on YouTube, they blast it on social media. In fact, even before the song is released, they put out these teasers, look out for so and so song. So you create a hype and a build up to they create this thing where you anticipate hearing the song, right? And that helps to sell the song. Now you don't have the same thing with Calypso. Now, mind you, this problem with Calypso is not unique to Sentence. It's being faced across the region, right? Grenada, Trinidad, the biggest Trinidad had a situation where you had a Calypso tent at one time, over in excess of 3,000 persons going to a Calypso tent. Now you don't have anything close to that now. So it is not unique to us, but it's a problem with Calypso overall. But the thing is, what are the Calypsonians doing to address the concerns and to make things better? For example, Calypso tent. Persons basically go into a Calypso tent because they say, well, this is carnival season, things are going to the tent to hear. Sometimes you'll be going to a Calypso tent without hearing prior to going to the tent one song from that tent. Because if any of the Calypso know didn't record and put the music out there, you basically just go into the tent not knowing what you're going to listen to. Right? So that's one thing that can be done differently. The Calypsonians should at least record the songs and put them out and so on, and that will help. And I've seen in the parts where Calypsonians won the crown, the song from songs that were popular. That helped. That has helped. In some cases where you song out there and persons can sing along to it, persons grasp the understanding of the message of the song because remember in a calypso different on soca in a way. You know, soca came from calypso, but the writing style for soca is more direct. While calypso, sometimes you have to listen to the song 2, 3 times to understand get the message because it is written in a way. And that's the art of Kaiso. You're supposed to deliver the message in that way. So when you have your song out there, person get to hear it and understand the song fully. They have an appreciation for it and they get that kind of response. And it helps you going forward. But when you go to a tent show, basically, a lot of times now you have not heard any of the songs or maybe just a few of the songs before.
Nice. Rodney?
Multiple things. I mean, as that those are some of as the opinions and experiences. I mean, we're from two different generations. I mean, fortunately for me, I just lie around a lot of older people, so I also can relate to some of what he's saying. But one of the things that we have to look at is the generational disconnect. There's a big generational disconnect. I mean, he spoke about the repackaging and the lack of innovation and the limited airplay. I mean, so even right now, even if Calypsonians decide to go and record and all these things, are our radio stations going to play them? Are our DJs going to play them? One of the interesting thing this year in Trinidad, the semifinals was huge, and it was huge from since last year because Marshall went inside there,
Yeah,
a known figure. So people, the interest is there. People are going to find a way to go and hear Marshall in Calypso. Then interestingly, this year you have Young Brother.
young brother.
I mean, along with some others, not just Young Brother, because there were some others. But what Young Brother did with his Calypso, every single show he was booked for, if he's have 5 minutes, he's taking 2 minutes out of the 5 minutes and singing Calypso,
Yeah,
right? I mean, he have used his youthfulness and all of that to make it a bit, sexy, right? So we have to look at. I mean, and I don't want to repeat some of what Ezzy said, which I agree to, but you remember too, right? A lot of our young people have options now, right? We have a lot of options now, and if and as mentioned earlier, as part of my vision, we have to look at the psychographics of our target audience. I mean, we are looking at attitude, desires, demand, interest, behavior. Like interest and appeal is one of the biggest things, and our Calypsonians, they themselves have to look into that. That is not something that the CDC can do also, right? The topics is very important. I mean, let's face it, a lot of our young people don't really care about social commentary during carnival. I mean, entertainment, carnival is about a lifestyle. And that is what it was. Back then, as you mentioned it, back then, Calypso was a big thing. Why was Calypso a
yeah.
big thing? When you go Calypso 10 to now,
The
long ago
entertainment.
now, your belly hot in you.
Yeah,
Not that
yeah,
you're hungry,
yeah.
your belly hot in you because
Laughter.
you laugh. Next
Yeah,
morning when you go to work, as I say, boy, you could try a joke and tell about boy. You call it say the boy, you think the thing. Now,
yeah,
young people have different things that they gravitate to. You understand? The humor probably won't be a thing for them. The social commentary that we're hearing now, young people don't really care about politics, especially during carnival. I mean, even now, so politics in the sense of the climate that we're in. A lot of young people don't care right now about politics. So singing about politics don't do anything for them. You might get a 9 day sensation, and then that's just about it. There's no appeal, there's no grab for it, there's no demand for it. You understand? So we have to have a bigger conversation with all of the artists, not just calypsonians, but artists, because it doesn't stop a fireman from singing a calypso or Hans John from singing a calypso. Is that what is our vision for our music? Not just calypso, soca, raga, but in a holistic way. What is our vision? Now,
yeah,
I keep saying to a lot of persons that have been doing a lot of interviews, if you look at Trinidad, whether or not they had a vision, they had a plan, looking from outside, there was a plan. And the plan was to package things for the international world. When you listen to that rhythm, that young brother and Marshall and Kessan full blown and you could tell that there was some sort of vision. I don't care what they tell me. You understand? That thing just take over the entire region. You
yeah.
understand? Take it easy, I could do the work. That rhythm. You
Mhm.
understand? And then you could see from Helen, Kurt, Young Brother, Marshall, these are persons who are in the Calypso Monarch. They also had a vision. Because if you listen to their songs, a lot of these songs are either playing on your heartstrings, they were creating some emotional attachment, they were giving some strong message that is with things that are happening around them. I mean, you know what Young Brother song about? we would rise again.
Yeah.
Now, that's playing on the emotions, the psychology of it. He realized what was happening in Trinidad. He realized what was happening around him. And singing something like that, every single Trinidadian can relate to it because they feel it and they know it. Back then, if you listen to singing Sandra, she was giving you songs like that too. Voices from the ghetto, the war will go on. Now, if you look at also one of Beckett's biggest songs, that if you listen it today, you'll want to know if he wrote it today. Love is the answer. If
Yeah.
you listen to the lyrics of Love is the Answer, you go feel it is yesterday Beckett right that. But
Yeah.
look how long ago that song was written. But we could have relate to it. We could say, yeah, boy, shit, boy, we have done, you know. But these days, and I mean, the content,
I,
the lyrical
I wanna
content,
I wanna mention.
don't create no sort of emotional attachment. You understand?
Yeah.
You might give it a 9 day stock. No, if I ask you, Colin, you understand? Name the song that one Calypso 3 years ago. Can you tell me?
Nope.
That's the point I'm making. But yeah, you understand where I'm
yeah,
coming from.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so it is a deeper conversation with the writers and the Calypsonians, right? And outside of it, as he spoke about it, the Calypsonians need to see themselves as a product, as a brand. And that is what we're not getting. You understand? Carnival coming around. Boy, let me jump in a studio. Let me go sing a thing. Let me go get a appearance from CDC. Let me go see if I could win a crown. Bam. When the crown don't win, you rest on the crown home, you catch the dust, you clean it from time to time, and then bam. Next year,
I see it.
March or April, they're back to it again. I mean, they're Calypsonians who are touring. I mean, look at Lord Nelson. I see Lord Nelson in Australia, they mash up the place. I brought
190
Byron
years
in
old.
December. I brought Byron
Yeah.
in December. These guys, Beckett, these guys, and the reality of it, Beckett and these older guys that I'm mentioning, these legends, as much as the young people they're fighting up with social media and they're doing all of that, they still can't call the price that Beckett and these men are calling.
Yeah.
That's something that we need to
It's
think
all on
about.
the catalog, you see. That is a
Yeah, yeah,
catalog
yeah.
artist. And
You understand?
you mentioned a couple of songs already. I wanna mention In Time to Come by Crazy as well. Because what I realize is that the greatest calypsos, the ones that you remember 15, 18, 20 years later, and you will be able to sing along to them. These are not songs that guys want crown with. You know, guys would win the crown with a song that you forget a year or two later. But the songs that didn't win the crown are the songs that you can, because they relate, as Rodney said, they relate to you. They pull something in your heartstrings about something about life, something about what was existing in the society at the time. One of the things again, a point that I didn't make earlier, I will make it now about Calypso and the effectiveness of Calypso long ago, comparing long ago to now. Long ago, you didn't have social media. You had radio, but you didn't have calling programs for people to express themselves. So the Calypsonian was like the vehicle that took the social issues to the people when Carnival come, and you sing about all the different. You're gonna take a Calypso and hit 4 or 5 different issues that came up during the year, during the past year. But now, as a topic hit, it has been ventilated on social media and on various radio programs. So when you come back 6 months later and you sing a song about that, it is not. It doesn't have the same grab that it had 20 years ago, when you would have been the man who was singing something that people hear about again because you just put it in a song. It is not like that anymore. When a topic comes up, it gets licks left, right, and center, radio and social media, and then when you come and sing about it, it is not appealing, and not as appealing as it used to.
Yeah, yeah. But I think they could do with the tempo too. I think if they could speed up the tempo a little bit too, that could help out too. You know?
Yeah.
So Ronnie, he was talking about repacketing Chinda Carnival. There was definitely a repacketing Chinda Carnival because I was watching the headlines. Normally you see like Skinny and Problem and a lot of big shows. This year it was a different thing, man. Definitely
People not pay,
there was a
pe-
conversation. Something happened. There's a
pe-
shift. There was a shift
people
this
not paying
year.
attention, and we need to pay attention. And it's not that we're fighting a war or a battle. We need to pay attention. I could even go further. There were artists, Trinidad and artists who were blacklisted if they were singing this bouillon thing that is happening now. I mean, if we are paying attention, you would realize that some of the Trini artists who sang on bouillon rhythms, they were blacklisted. They weren't booked.
Yeah.
You understand? Because you know why? Everybody wants to hook up their thing right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and this is Rodney as an individual talking, we like to go down the slippery slope. So everybody who cry we over a bank, we just fly straight over the bank with them.
But that's where you
We
come
at
in
a
now.
very we
Yeah,
are
that's
at a very important
yeah, that's where you come in now. That's where you come in now.
we're at a very important juncture where it's time for us to say, you know what? We're not going over the mountain, we're not going over the bank. We're steering our own course. We're riding it out and embracing what we have. I'm glad
Yeah.
you mentioned it, you know. I'm very happy you mentioned it.
I pay
You
attention.
understand?
I pay attention, brother. I pay attention to these
I
Yeah.
things.
mean, unfortunately, some people don't have the privilege of paying attention. I mean, we like to wait for the 9 days sensation and then everybody jump on the comments. But you mentioned Jude a while ago. Jude does give some very important insights too. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes there are other things, but there are some very critical things that does be said. I mean, you mentioned him all a lot of other persons on the social media platform. But if we continue to export so heavily, we will find ourselves in problem, Colin.
Very
Big
much,
problems.
very
Problems
much
that
so.
we're not ready for.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand?
Well, personally, I think I was doing some research right before you guys came on in the week, and I don't. When you really hear the kind of money that Carnival generates, like in Canada, they say Carnival generate 467 million Canadian dollars.
Yeah. And
New York,
Yep.
everywhere you go, that is the scenario in every country. Carnival generate millions of dollars to any country hosting carnival. That is why you have within the last few years a number of countries that never had carnival before. They are now into carnival because it is recognized that carnival is a festival that generates millions of dollars in the economy. So why not jump on it and make it a big tourism product and so on? But the makers, it is only fair that the people who make carnival be given, that chance to make money within the festival. The musicians, the pan man, the mass men who go and create these costumes that create that wow factor when they hit the road and they hit the stage and so forth. So these practitioners are to be given, the just reward in terms of finances from the festival. Because a lot of persons who are not culturally oriented are making money from the festival. It's only fair that these persons who make the contribution to make the festival as it is, that they are also given a chance to make money from the festival.
Mr. Small.
But everybody know I stand on that. You know? I mean, I again, the we still don't have the business right? They asked me the other day on the radio how much money I'd want to run carnival, and I tell them 5 million.
5 million.
They cost me, people cost me, but the reality is for us to run the festival in terms of how we need to run it. I mean, 5 million is still nothing
Nothing.
because look at it. You just said 400 million, right? I
Yes,
mean,
and 67. Don't forget the 67.
Saint Vincent be making a good penny, but who is
Yeah,
making that good penny is a real question, Colin.
yeah,
I have artists who have sat with me since I came into the job and said to me last year they got one show,
yeah. I was a
and that
CDC.
one show was a CDC show. So what if the CDC decide, well, CDC should stop do that, stop do that, and start doing what everybody doing? What do you think will happen?
Artists will get zero.
Not
No
only
performance
artists,
is zero.
DJs too.
That's why I say I think we need to regulate the thing. If you don't want to hire our artists, them play our music and not allowed to partake in Carnival. We will find somebody. No promoter is bigger than Carnival. Carnival is the brand. You understand? I don't care how big your show is. Carnival is the brand.
Correct.
You know. So fellas, what about street bars?
Well, we have an announcement to bring with that, you know. I could say it here now. I mean, it has already been approved. Street bars would now go back to round the clock.
Hey, Jude like that. Jude.
Round the
Kind
clock.
of.
Round the clock. Round the clock. I
Yeah, yeah.
mean, so I mean, we've had a conversation already with a particular street bar owner. I mean, we will do the same with the others, and the plans for that street bar is very exciting. And I mean, we also want to encourage the street bars to open after work too. So after I leave my office, I could go and have a drink by a street bar and just start the vibe and go home and bathe and come back and But yeah, that is one of the announcements that we're going to make. That street bars are now allowed to go round the clock.
Yeah, I hope they could have like a small stage somewhere, and some of the younger artists could pop on and get some
Well,
experience.
definitely, that took place last year. Robbie just mentioned arrangements we had in discussion with a promoter, with a street bar operator, I should say, and we want to continue to encourage this. He did it last year, um, and he will be doing it again with our support and so forth. Because he was able to hire steel band to provide some entertainment outside his bar, to have a stage where artists got to sing and they were paid and so on. And basically, rather than having DJs playing at these street bars, from the time they open until they close, we have a situation where we can have some of our practitioners entertaining persons at these street bars. So that's the direction we want to continue to go. As many persons as possible who operate street bars want to do that, we would encourage and support it big time.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause that was the identity of carnival back in the day, man. Street
Yeah,
bar was very after park. You go up relax, hillocks,
yeah,
Richie bar. We hang out, and make a
yeah.
time of
Well,
it.
basically, long ago, I mean, persons at times try to compare Carnival long ago with now and say, well, Carnival gone through because long ago the street bars used to have so many persons living, and now street bars don't have those kind of crowds anymore. But Carnival has evolved. The scenario now is different than what existed hitherto. We had back then, when you come into town during the Carnival 10-day period, you had two choices. It's either you're going to Victoria Park to the CDC show, or you're going to Lime Bar Street Bar. Those were the two choices. All the activities were centered, all the line parties, everything were in town, right? Except for Aquatic Club, which normally would have hosted after parties. When the show is finished in Victoria Park, person will go to Aquatic Club and the party. But outside of that, everything was basically Kingston centered, right? Now, what we have during that same 10-day period, a number of parties and events taking place during the night. So that persons are not coming to town to just line by a street bar. They are, while you're not seeing a crowd in town, when you go to these other two parties that are taking place between Arnesville, Indian Bay Villa, Rattle Mill, you go to the venue, you see the amount of persons that's there. I mean, big parties swinging, two parties in one night outside of a CDC show. So it is a different type of carnival. Again, this is not something unique to St. Vincent. Similar things are happening in Grenada and Trinidad and Barbados, etc. Similarly, that's like what is happening to St. Vincent.
Colin, I have a bit of a different view also. I mean, we have to be very careful, right? And that's why I just appreciate all those persons who, like yourself and who have had experience, who would use the social media platform to bring knowledge, to bring information. It's very hard to sell something to a target audience who knows nothing about it, right? A lot of the party goers now, a lot of the carnival lovers now, a lot of the young people don't know anything about the history or the significance of street bars. They see street bar open, they walk past it, they go in where they want to go, right? But making them understand what street bar, the culture of street bar, the history of it, the significance of it would also be very important. And again, my brethren Jude, he does hit me all the time with these history. I remember when we did a documentary, Teddy James gave us a lot of history. Now, for us to get them to be involved and get persons to come back into it, we have to also let them understand the nature of it, understand where it's coming from, and how it make up a part of who we are. So there's a sense of belonging, there's a sense of pride, there's a sense of identity. Because they're going to walk past and they're going to jump in a taxi and go moonshine. They go jump in a taxi and go on one of those bars I think on the village strip. Or they might jump in a taxi and go 360. Or they might go chill spot because they can relate to these places. They know what they're about. They know why they're going there. You know what I mean? So we also, in addition to what Ezzy said, right? We also need to put the significance out there. I mean, why they existed? Why are they there? Why? What used to happen? Wait. But after every event is this the way we used to go now. And sometimes it's a man who go there Friday and don't go back home till Tuesday.
Yeah.
I, I
Yeah.
mean, mind you, our young people they are doing that. Cause sometimes when them go lime out on the villa strip, some of them go home until morning.
Yeah.
Right? But they're going into spaces that they're familiar with. They're going into spaces that they can relate to. So all we need to do, because the street bars, they may know different than what's going on in these other establishments. It's just that they know they can relate to. So in addition to everything that Ezzy said, I think we just need now to package these street bar, the marketing, give them some sense of belonging, let them understand. Wait, because the other thing about it, every young person now want to be able to say, you know what I mean? I know about them whole time thing they, you know what I mean? You don't say them all the time. I go a
Yeah.
session the other day and some sus one thing and I see in them and they posting, I say, them ain't said no nothing but them song. You understand? But they just want to have a sense of boy, yeah, you know, I could show people I know these things. But if we let them understand the nature of them and where they're coming from, and understand the significance, because there was something very deep about street bars, you know. It had a lot to do with affordability, you know. It had a lot to do with some of the successful businessmen
Yeah.
in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You know what I mean? So I feel like we could also do some more work on it from our end in terms of the education, in terms of the attachment of it, and persons would have a better appreciation. And then we might see some young people, because I could tell you this. I remember as you noticed, there's a particular young lady who had joined the CDC shows committee, right? She was helping out with some stuff. And she'd never gone to a Calypso tent. So
Yeah.
Colin, we pick you up, we put you in the vehicle, we go up to Calypso tent. You know when she reach in the tent, and at the end of the tent, you know she start going tent without we.
Yeah,
She say,
man.
boy,
You never know them like that.
I never know tent so nice.
Yeah.
You understand? So she started
Yeah.
to ask question, why these men in front they doing that? Which we call the grudges. Stuffy
Yeah.
and them. You understand? So
Yeah.
you were able to tell her why. So she were able to connect that. You understand? She go in tent when we instead go in tent.
Yeah.
If you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
So
So
it's
yeah.
it's
really
a way to
the
get young people to go. Try it. Just try it one time. Yeah.
yeah, I mean not just to try it, because you could try something and still don't have an attachment to it. It's for them
Yeah.
to understand the real attachment and the real reason for it and the significance of it, so that you can relate. So when somebody from foreign come, that's you see, anytime somebody come from somewhere, that's when young people know the history now. You know, I don't know if when you go here, you know, because they want people to know that they know about the country. All the time they been talking about nothing historical now. But when somebody come from foreign and they want to sell the country, I see it all the time. You know what I mean, I see it all the
Yeah.
time. But it's really we have some work to do in terms of the education part of it.
Yeah, man. So hold on, fellas. Hold on. When we come back, I want to talk about the private events. Them. Hold on. Hold on.
Problem is a problem.
But 3 seconds. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. Help me sing this loud, loud, loud. As sure as the sun will shine, I'm gonna love you forever.
I tell you, man.
Come you,
Speaking to Rodney Small,
as sure
Mr. Ezzy.
as the shore, I'm gonna love you forever. So come music, and I could never, 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 ever, 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 ever turn my back on you.
Rodney Problem Child.
I just can't afford to go on there without you. Hear me loud, loud, loud. It have nothing sweeter than soca music. I just can't refuse.
Don't forget, man.
Give me more.
We still have the brand new Scorpion to jam.
More. It have nothing sweeter than soca music. I just can't refuse it. Give me more, give me more, give me more. And when you see me touch down, the whole party lift up. Every hand start going up. And every girl start sing it up. The vibe sweet just like the drink in the cup. Yeah, yeah. The whole party lift up. Every hand start going up. And every
Yes, fellas. Yes, fellas. Yeah, my brand new Patrice Roberts. Yeah, my Problem Child. Yeah, so we're speaking to the new CEO of CDC, Mr. Rodney Small. But Rodney, I must say something though. The first time I saw you was with an interview. He was in school. And I was like, I had to keep my eye on this young brother. I had to
Oh
see from
lad,
that to now, brother. Yeah, man.
more lad,
Yeah,
oh
yeah, yeah,
lad.
yeah. It didn't
It
disappoint. It
ain't
did not
it
disappoint.
ain't easy, you know. It's plenty. What we will call plenty licks and thing. But I mean, once you move with purpose, you know what I mean. I mean, everything is alright.
Everything
Everything
is
is
all right.
alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fellas. I personally think the private shows has go too long, man. I think the private shows go too long.
Colin boy, I feel you really has got fire on the wall, boy.
Bro, I'm a part of the thing.
Uh,
Yo, I know. I
I mean,
personally.
I mean, I mean, I want to be careful with I want to be careful, real and honest about this part of the conversation. From the CDC standpoint, we don't see private promoters as competitors because they are also key stakeholders of the Vincy Mass product. So, I mean, from the press conference, I know a lot of people started to hear things where that is concerned. And there are a lot of posters on social media who have been expressing what you're expressing also. There are posters who have been expressing that private promoters should give way or have some respect for for CDC shows. Um, from a CDC standpoint, we understand the importance of the private promoters quite naturally because the CDC can't do it all. There must be some level of variety in the festival. What we are going to do and what we are asking is for some level of collaboration, some better working relationships, right? Because if we continue to see private promoters and CDC as competitors, and we are not collaborating where the private promoters are embracing CDC shows are not doing well. It's not making sense. Then it might end up in a place where we should have no carnival. So we can't have no private show, we can't have no CDC, right? I just humor, but um, a part of what is going to be announced is paying close attention to the time management, time management. I mean, CDC is not saying no to private shows, but we're saying pay attention to the time management. We're allowing you to pay attention to that. We're gonna have a conversation. We have a meeting on the 12th of May, and that is also a plug here to remind promoters that we have a meeting. I mean, key fancy mass promoters, not just general promoters, but people who do events with
Events within
Carnival.
Canada.
And we're just simply asking just to give the CDC show some respect. I mean, if we give you an approval for a particular time, right, stick to your time. I mean, if you said you're ending at 8 and we approve that, please end at 8 because I will tell you this now. The police, the police is working with the CDC. The police is working with Vincy Mass and they feel that we all can exist in the same space, but just give each other with little light. So when it's your light, you shine. When it's my light, I shine. Right? So I want to personally, as a CEO and as Rodney Small, first to stamp out that idea in our mind that there's a war between private promoters and CDC. The war would come into play if you don't adhere to what we decide, what we agree. And when I say we, CDC and you as a promoter, Colin, you write to us, we go through your letter, we say, okay, approved, and we are approving it on the basis of what is in your letter. There are promoters who would say 9 o'clock end time, and all 11, 12 o'clock, you're still going.
Yeah.
We have to change that culture. Get into the culture of starting your event on time, getting your patrons there on time, and ending on time. We all can exist now. Because if it don't happen like that, then we're going to end up in a situation where it now becomes a security issue. Because St. Vincent don't have a huge police force now. And if we have to service 5 and 6 and 7 events in one night, you know what is happening there, right? So basically, Colin, we have started the conversation already with some of the promoters. We're going to have a general meeting with them on the 12th. There's some other things that needs to be considered going into the approval of your events. I think right now we have approved majority of them. on the basis that you're going to stick to your time,
For
because
those who haven't,
it's a great feeling to know that you could leave one of these private shows and come straight into a CDC show. I mean, different dynamics, different fields. So you have a whole cook up. I mean, you're getting the best of Vincy. Now, we have also had conversation where we're going to be collaborating with private promoters. So we're going to put a booth at one of the parties. So if you ain't get your so coming out tickets yet, that is your opportunity to get a last minute so coming out ticket or your last minute panorama tickets, wherever it is. So we're looking to collaborate more than to come in with a big fist and say no. You understand? We're collaborating. We're doing it a nice and professional way. But if persons start to be dishonest, that is when things are going to go down a different road, Colin. Right? Because I believe in variety. You understand? That is why we have KFC, Yankee, fried chicken, ting. So you have options to pick from. But you also have to give respect, big respect to the CDC shows, to the festival, the main festival shows, and encourage your people to come and be a part of them. It has too much Vincentians who don't care about telling or letting persons see our culture.
yeah,
Tell us as a CDC boy, I feel you could do this to enhance this. Don't see the CDC as boy, they will leave CDC over there or they will leave them private promoters over there. No, we gotta come together. So when they jump back on the plane and they go and say, boy, I'm on the jam, they
but I
be
want
bad
to
no
ask you.
boy. That t-shirt master been whatever you want to call it been nice. But I also enjoy AM because I wake up early and I get my breakfast by AM. I get like a jam. I go home and sleep. I put on my jersey and I go down in the morning jam. You understand? These are the experiences that we want to create collectively, right? And even if we have different entities, the visitors, our patrons should not be seeing that. They should be seeing a festival and not you over there, me over here, you down there. You know, you're seeing a festival that incorporates all of these different elements.
Yeah, I wanted to come in there, Colin. Rodney mentioned the meeting on the 12th, which is a very important meeting with the promoters, where we'll be sitting down with them and having a discussion about the different requirements. Because from one of our meetings with the police others, and other stakeholders, we have information that we have to share with these promoters, the ones who are doing events during the carnival period. But I want to also use the opportunity to reach out to the promoters who are having events during Carnival who have not yet submitted a letter to the CDC. Please do so because we find that, and these are people, they are not new. These are people who have done events in the past during Carnival and we know the requirement. But for some reason, the letter to CDC seems to be the last thing that most persons want to do. Everything else is more important. But it is important that we get that letter in so that we know that you're doing an event. So, for example, we want to put out a calendar of activities outside of the CDC calendar. You have the calendar there already. But as Rodney said, Vincy Mass is not just the calendar from CDC. Persons come, they want to go to the fets, the shows, the parties, what have you. We want to show them that this is our part of Vincy Mass. Okay? Now, if we want to create this flyer based on the letters submitted as of today, you will find the flyer would go out and person say, how come they have on this? How come they have that? But we can't assume that because you had a party 2, 3 years means that you have any party this year. Any promoter can decide at any point, for any reason, that they're not doing an event. So we don't want to work with assumption and put on your event and then you're not having it, or we leave off your event and then even the promoter themselves may come and say, oh, I had this all the time. They put on my thing. People like Bacchanal, some people like Bacchanal and these kind of things will come out. Let us do it the right way. Send a letter and we will use the information that we have to guide us in what we do and who we are to contact when anything to be done. But that flyer, I really would like to get a go out as soon as possible. And I realize that we don't have all the requests in so far as we speak right now.
Oh, nice. But personally, I take the private promoters out of control in St. Vincent, man. Because I speak to my Grenadian friends, they'll tell you they have the evening party. And I finish a certain time, you go home, you get dressed, you go in the night party. So
Yes?
And more
Yes?
money circulate in the country because you buy a ticket there, you buy next ticket there, you buy drinks.
Yeah.
So more money circulate and it's better for the country, right? And everybody
Yeah.
just in one spot by one ticket, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
I observe it when I go to Grenada. These people do their thing. You have four big activities, events taking place in one day. This one running from this time to that time, this one from this time to that time, and next one day into the afternoon, evening, and 6, 7, and there's one that starts at 7 o'clock, that one till 2 or 3 in the morning. And people respect each other's time. And you go like you'll outline and you go and you run in a relays from this side to that one to the next. It's not about I running my thing all night and your thing you look good. So if nobody will come your thing, don't tell me about my thing. You know what I mean? We had to collaborate and work together. Yeah.
Colin, DJ
Yeah, man.
Saint.
Yes, sir.
You see me as a promoter. If it was different for me, if I was in this capacity, or if I have my will alone, I put all these CDC shows in the day. You know why? Well, that has a little humor too again. You know why?
Why? It is.
Cause, 'cause everybody fighting up in the night. Everybody going in the dark. Every single event, majority of our events are night events. We have thousands of visitors here who they don't have work. You understand?
Yeah.
They come for vacation, and I tell you thousands. And I mean, and every majority of the promoters, everybody fighting up. Right now on a Carnival Wednesday now, we have 6 events, and all of them starting the same time.
Yeah.
Me now, as a promoter, I would be having an eagle eye, doing my investigation. That's what promoters normally do. And if everybody going so, I going so. What happened to the daytime boat rides? What happened to the real breakfast parties in the day? What happened to the midday shows? I mean, the foreigners them. I mean, and if you take stock, it up people would take vacation for carnival. I don't know. I remember it all year we had a thing called Bun Walk.
Yeah,
Bun
boy.
Walk was big.
Yes.
If you understand what I mean
But
now,
real one, no.
every
Real one, no.
single event in Vincy is a night event. 90% is night event. And what promoters not paying attention to, and they probably not have to pay for this consultation here now, is that when you have a daytime event, your cost is lowered because you don't have to pay for lighting. You understand? Your security plan is not of a high risk because it's now in the daytime. I mean, I could give you so many reasons. I mean, God. I mean, because I'm now in a different capacity, but me as a promoter, but it's be daytime parties. I mean, you have Mount Twin. You have Mount Twin. When you go down to Mount Twin, and Colin, if you ever come home for Carnival this year or whenever you come, just take a trip or drive down to Mount Twin during the day of the Carnival season and you would see the amount of people on Mount Twin. You tell me a man can have beach splash or beach party, carnival time.
Yeah.
We get with like a beach splash, we bathe, we drink, we alcohol, we go home and we sleep off, and we come back in the night.
You know.
I mean,
Yep.
it's an experience. But
Yes, man.
I
Because
mean, I just want to make. Go ahead.
no, I was in Toronto, man. It's Caravana, they have a lot of
They,
dating, a lot of boat rides, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I've proved it because my show that I normally have, I had it one time in the day, and I've seen people I've never seen before. You know why? A woman said to me, boy, now I could come your show. That was the daytime one. Cause she said she can't drive any night. She don't like driving any night. She ain't have nobody for stay with the children. So you have to also think about these other variables. You understand where I'm coming from? But I want to make it very clear, Colin, that the CDC is not in any tug of war. We're not in any fight with the private promoters. We're simply going to ask you to adhere and stick to the rules and the guidelines based off of your approval. Right? Come on. I mean, let us not go into a situation where the CDC would have to make some very harsh and hard decisions. Because right now, the general public have been crying out for certain things. And if we follow the general public, plenty of people would vex. But we're not into that type of business. All we are saying is that we all could exist in the same space, but give respect where respect is needed.
Man, if we have to use the heavy stick, we have to use the heavy stick. No, man.
But I find really and truly that is the kind of momentum that the public has been pushing, and that's it by coming from the public. It has been coming gradually over the past few years, but this year you are seeing persons coming out forcefully demanding that CDC deal with this problem. Trust me, it really CDC has the full support of the public on this one, believe me. The
Yeah, because
majority of us, you'll obviously find the one or two would say it otherwise, but it's really if you check calling programs on social media and even while when you're doing interviews on radio, the kind of comments they made and they by the callers and also on the social media platforms and so it's really a lot of support for it. But CDC doesn't want we don't want to come with a big stick approach. We're having a conversation and we could get it done without coming with the big stick. I'm
yeah,
confident.
yeah,
Mm.
man. No, but we need our culture back, man. We need our identity back because too long we crying because we crying now too much for this and the promoters them think the bigger and the carnival, man. So if we have to use a heavy
Ca-
stick and a big stick, we gotta do what we have to do, man. Everybody go
Colin,
fall
I
in line,
want.
you know. Everybody go fall in
I,
line, trust me.
Eventually, it's going to get to a place where everybody have to fall in line, right? Not by either by will or by force, because what I've seen, because I've been putting out a lot of different teasers, the general public is also crying out, right? So we have to pay very close attention. What I would add finally on this topic is that if there are promoters who are listening to me, we have to be careful with what we put out there as an image for what carnival is, what Vincy Mass is. Because your 5 year old, I'm just using as an example, right? What they're seeing now as a carnival is not a representation of what carnival truly is, right? So we have to be very, very, very careful of what we're selling as a carnival. We cannot have a festival of just fetes. That is not a carnival. We can have a carnival with fetes and everything else that makes up a carnival. So we have to be very mindful of what we put out there as the image of carnival. Look at it straight across the board. A lot of carnivals start regulating things. You know why? A lot of people are now buying into our Caribbean culture, and you don't want to get left behind because you don't have any authenticity, right? To what is what your country is known for, right? The other day I see a cruise ship, with a beach calling, and I saw his Indian mate. If they didn't tell me it's a cruise ship, so it means that people are now making these things, these artificial things that are competing with things that are authentic. But no matter what you do, you cannot compete with our way of life. And you understand where I'm coming from? So just to the promoters. I mean, and I don't want it to seem like if we are bashing promoters, we are not. This year we are embracing them. We're having conversations. We're collaborating. Some have been very receptive. I mean, some have said, yes, CDC, come and do whatever you want at the party. Come on, And there are some who have are also encouraged to put some cultural elements into your event. And some of them have accepted it already. So, I mean, we're seeing a turning point without the big stick for now,
For
Colin.
now.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, man. So yeah. So yes, everything is again good. All the good and support CDC shows that we need that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a full
Yes.
revamp of the shows too. I mean,
Yeah. We're talking about the shows just now, but mass. How are we looking for mass? Like in a good place?
yeah, boy, mass is always in a good place, As them young people say right now, mass must play. You know what I mean? But we really need to we need to work on some things where mass is concerned in terms of the e-commerce aspect of it, the business aspect of it. Again, as mentioned, the sustainability of it. So there's some things. I mean, outside of the creation is never a problem. The creative process, because we have some of the best mass millers in the world. It's from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I mean, so there's some key areas that we're going to work on after the festival. I mean, it's a bit too late now. I mean, in terms of packaging, branding, utilizing social media to your advantage. I mean, networking capacity. I mean, look at what is existing already, what you can use to your advantage. I mean, creating an experience for your revelers. I mean, it's all about an experience because the costume can look good. You spend months building the costume. I mean, so there's also that marriage that you must create with the creation and the experience. So mass is good. I mean, for now, I mean, people are going to play mass. People will be playing mass, but we also have to embrace the traditional mass and the craftsmanship from those mass builders. And I mean, I'm always excited to see King and Queen of the bands. Sometimes I'm in amazement when I in Victoria Park. If I not working that show, I would sit in a little corner and just be amazed by the production. I mean, and as a creative, it kind of triggers a lot of different creative juices. So I mean, Mars is in a good place where that is concerned, but we have some very critical work to do in terms of the packaging, the rebranding, and utilizing everything that is now available to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colin.
Yeah, I too wanna add relative to the mass. I have to give kudos to our mass, man. And I too like the King and Queen of the band, Junior King, Junior Queen, King and Queen of the band. When you look at the presentations on stage and so on, you really marvel at, you might see a sketch from mass and then you see the actual mass on stage and you're like, wow, like these guys really creative. I always remember some mass from long ago, like Two Man Heart Can't Live in One Hole, by Dragon. I remember Treadard from I think that was Scully Hunt. I remember Breaker Dawn, the Fall Cock, played by Taya Boucher and so on. These things have stayed in my mind for many years. These costumes that were created and within recent times. Um, um, there was a costume, a King of the Band, like a steel pan, like a whole pan side with pans wrapped with individuals and so. I mean, that was really creative, done by Giddy. That was created by Giddy Lockhart and so on. And so you have to really respect person with those kind of talent that could create stuff like that. So I have maximum respect for. I grew up in Carnival in Mass. I started playing Mass while I was a student in in secondary school, sorry. And I continue playing Mass throughout my adult life, and so I have an appreciation for the art. I would go to Mass tents and old talk with the guys there and look at them do work and so on. I might end up sticking at some braid and so on and building a few little things too if I have to. So I have respect for these guys. A number of most of the bands have been launched already. There was a band launching tonight. This afternoon into tonight. Energy Mass Band. This is the third year as a mass band leader being Norman Kwashi. And I passed through the band launching earlier and drink out with the guys a little bit and look at the costume, the fiction that they had there and so on, the fictions. And I could say that Vincy Mass this year, I've seen a number of bands launch and the presentations, different styles, you have various things to choose from. And I can tell you, Vincy Mass 2025 will looking pretty good.
Nice, nice. Randy, since why you talking about the wristband, as the minister was saying, you guys want to do the wristband like you could go from event, like a private event to CDC event. Is that still on?
Yeah, we're still in discussion.
Still again?
Hello? Yeah, we're still in discussion with that. Just up to yesterday, him and I had a conversation. He wanted to get an update on where we are with that. There's some promoters, well, the specific promoters that we want to have a conversation with that. We're having their meeting after the launch of Carnival because from Sunday, our focus is the launch of Carnival because we once we start right, that is very critical. But yes, the conversation is still on the table. I mean, I think that there's some value in it. Hello? I
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, we got a little feedback. Somebody have something on extra?
yeah, Ezzy, you might unmute.
Ezzy, mute there. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's some value in it, and that will also help with the working relationship and the collaboration. But that is still on the table, but we're just waiting to meet with the promoters. Not a fault of theirs, it was just that, as I said, we're turning our focus for this week on the launch, and we'll be meeting with, I mean, from since I became the CEO, we have had 4 and 6 meetings in one day. You know what I mean? Which is critical. It's very important. These meetings were very critical, and we're going to continue them. So yeah, the wristband give you a discount to come into CDC shows and vice versa. However, we agree to deal with it. So that is something that could be a very good incentive for the patrons.
Yeah, nice. Mr. Ezzy, unmute, unmute.
Yeah, the collaborations it's something that we look forward to. I mean, it would be nice to be able to have persons coming from one event to the next without having to say, well, I didn't have a ticket, so I don't have to go and stand in a line outside Victoria Park to purchase a ticket and so forth. Make it easier for a person to come, and then you have that added incentive where you basically will get it like at a discounted price if you purchase like that, along with other events. I mean, this is one of the things that we can do this year and going forward to make life a little easier for our patrons, the packaging and support combination of different events. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, nice, nice. So, Mr. Randy, we're touching what we're getting the feedback again. We're getting the feedback. I'm getting the
Is he
feedback.
mute?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, Mr. Randy, your thing that you love, steel pan. But before you touch steel pan, I was watching CNN a couple years back, and they was featuring this white guy from Utah teaching pan in school.
Yep. They're the ones who making money from it, man.
I know. I was like, what?
Yeah, you gotta pay 250 US per child per session, buddy. We ain't making no money here yet from that. But it's for the love, for the love.
Yeah, we gotta change that, man. We gotta change that. They
Yeah,
can't be
soon,
making
man. It's
money.
getting there. It's
Yeah, yeah,
getting
yeah.
there. Mm.
So yeah, so how we look at pan like junior pan, senior pan.
Amazing, amazing. I could brag and boast, when I would don't want to say when I used to be, but I'm going to resign as the president of PAN because I mean, not that it is a part of the CDC Act, but I think it's the rightful thing for me to do. And I mean, I don't want to continue being the president and still the CEO of the organization, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to move away entirely from the organization. I mean, I probably might just sit in as an advisor. But I would brag and boast and said last year and the year before, PAN was the only component that saw a 65% increase in their gates receipts. So when we go to the bargain table with the CDC, that is one of our ammunition. I mean, PAN has been doing great, and I mean, as you can testify to that, and other persons on the live, we have a full year of calendar. Every month there's something that is happening PAN related, and that is kudos to the Euro PAN movement and the executive and the members. Um, I mean, our contribution to Vincy has always been tremendous. We have added what we would call a flagship event in the Vincy calendar, which is Ivory Soiree. It's the ultimate all white steel pan party. I mean, it started two years ago. This is the third year, and I mean, persons couldn't believe that that was a pan event. I mean, so I mean, we got persons dressed in white coming out at 5 p.m. in the afternoon, enjoying some pan music, and you were back home by 10 o'clock. I mean, a lot of persons commended us for that. When the bands are playing, there would always be challenges with some of these organizations. It's not easy putting together a steel orchestra for carnival. It's very costly. We still have some bands without sponsors, which is something that we're trying to address. I mean, talking to the acting president, I mean, they'll be having quite a number of different conversations with persons to support some of these bands. But I mean, the bands started already for Panorama. I mean, I think it's a big year for them. I mean, they feel more motivated because, as I said, we've been doing a lot of work throughout the year. There's something called Pan in the Street. I don't know if you have saw some of that. That has really bring a lot of awareness to Pan. Quite honestly, one of the things that we're a bit disappointed in is that from an executive level, we didn't get to do as much training as we would love to. And one of the reasons was because we wanted to put a lot of emphasis on the awareness of the instrument, have people start loving pan again. Because it's one thing to train people and then you don't have any avenues for them to perform. So we wanted to bring back the awareness, have people loving pan, having people following pan, and what's not. Junior pan, we had a bit of a fall off last year because of the hurricane. So some of the bands weren't able to prepare. And this year we see the numbers going back up in the junior panorama, especially from the school level. So we are very happy for that. As it is now, I think we have 12 confirmed bands for junior pan school category and 5 community bands. So I mean that is something that we are proud of. We're hoping that they would maintain because sometimes you start with these numbers and then the kids start getting distracted and they end up not being able to come. but the executive of the Yule movement is trying to keep them engaged, staying in contact with the teachers and stuff like that. But pan have a play. I mean, that is the tagline for Yule movement this year, pan have a play. And I mean, they also have a lot of different activations that are coming. But I am looking forward. I've been to multiple countries and see it. I'm looking forward for a full day of pan. I mean, there are some persons who are against it, but I feel good knowing that we can have a full day of sweet pan music. And I mean, with the gates receipt and all these promotional stuff that we've been doing throughout the communities, I could really see us, I mean, having a really big show. So as it is now, pan is okay. As I said, we still have a lot of work to do where training is concerned. And but I am hopeful that we will get there.
Yeah, well, in terms of plan, I definitely had a. I'm gonna say something now, and not because Rodney Small is my personal friend. I'm going to say it genuinely that I think Pan, when Rodney became the president of the Pan movement, it was a great thing that happened for Pan in Cities and Gambia. I think his love for Pan, his ability to organize and manage things, I think his leadership was exemplary at the with the European movement, and hence he was able to take him and the organization were able to take Pan out of a scenario where Pan was something that you heard only during Carnival, where bands were preparing for competition. Panorama. You had a scenario years ago, you saw something called bomb competition that went through the door for many, many years. We were able to see the revival of a bomb competition at one time, and it was well organized and well attended, and the patrons who came enjoyed it. You mentioned the Irish story, which is something out of the norm when it comes to pan, where you have a white party for pan music. You play basically, you dress up in white to go and listen to bands, play band after band, and stuff like that. 10, 15 years ago, these things didn't exist. Also, would not have thought about organizing stuff like that. So that in itself has put pan in a position where forces are now accepting pan throughout the year, and you're seeing it at events, be it pan solo, sponsors are requesting maybe a 5 man, 6 man, 8 man pan side or a full band, what have you. But now you're getting pan music at different type of events throughout the year, not just that pans are steel bands are prepared for Panorama and you see them at Panorama and that's it. So I think Pan is in a very good place. Even the number of bands that are now competing. He just mentioned the junior band school, then they have the community bands, and then they have senior bands and so. Yeah, some years ago they actually had just three band sites taking part in Panorama, and then they had a number of years that they didn't have Panorama at all. So we have come a long way when it comes to Pan. So I think Pan is in good standing right now. Kudos to Rodney and the entire Pan movement, the executive and the general membership for that matter.
Yeah. Jude was saying that some of the problem with Pan is that the song for the juniors is the song selection. You see them all they had the young kids them playing some song that they didn't have no. So you see how to change up that, yeah, song selection.
Jude is so right. But these components are some interesting group of people, right? Because one of the rules that the European movement wanted to bring in for this year, but I think it happened too late, is that you're only allowed to play songs for the past 10 years. This is for the junior competition. You know what I mean? For the past 10 years, the young people would know these songs. But it was too late. Persons had already started to select the songs and whatnot. I mean, one of the complaints is that some the songs from long ago they have more friendly melody lines and chord structures and all of that. But in Trinidad, I've seen arrangers take anything and make it something. That is when I would judge your creativity. But next year, I think we're gonna go for that, where you have to play within a 10-year period. I mean, so the young people, and this is for junior. And Jude is right. When a young person can relate to a song or they know a song, it is better for them. They can relate to it better as a player, right? So it makes the job easier for the arranger, right? But yeah, he's correct.
Yeah, yeah. So Pan is good. We good with Pan. Yeah, I must say, the last time I was in St. Vincent, I went to the Panorama. I was very impressed. Very impressed. Yeah, yeah. So So next thing, people say we talking everything. We talk about the Queen show. They to the Queen show. Them all take out all the Queen show. The Carnival. The ladies want to know what's going on with Queen show and Carnival. Miss Carnival and Miss SVG. What's going on? Tell us. Tell us.
I can touch on the Queen show side of things. Now, we had Miss Carnival for a number of years as a Caribbean pageant. And in the early stages, it was very effective. It was a show that persons looked forward to. It was well patronized and so on for a long time. But over a period of time, it started losing its appeal, and we saw the number in terms of gate receipts and so on start decreasing. And I can tell you, pageants are not inexpensive to organize; they are very expensive. So it became a situation where a decision had to be made based on economics that we stopped doing Miss Carnival. So that was the reason. For that was the main reason for not doing Miss Carnival anymore. Then we had the scenario with Miss SVG, where it was held on the first weekend in May, traditionally, and then we had the launch of Carnival, and then Carnival would go down the road, and then Miss winner from Miss SVG would have gone into Miss Carnival for the following year. Um, Now, a decision was taken to put Miss SVG in the month of October. All right, and so far it has been working there. Well, if you take certain variables into consideration, the name we considered Miss SVG, we thought it fitting for the time of independence. The month of October was the ideal fit to put it there. We still have persons calling for it to be returned to its original position, make it a part of Vincy, bring it out of independence. So, like I said earlier, and it's always difficult to arrive at a decision that everybody is going to agree with. And there are pros and cons for both scenarios, whether you're having it during the carnival period or if you're having it down in the one of the things though from an economic standpoint is that when we had the show in Carnival, that setup for the hosting of Carnival would take place early so that the show could be held. So there was one setup cost, okay, for the stage, the system, and the full works. Now, when we do it down with independence, it means that the show itself has to carry all the costs for that because we have dismantled the stage in the month of July after Carnival. And then we now have to set up a whole set of infrastructure to do the Miss SVG show only, as opposed to doing it only, make it a part of the carnival, and then the cost for that infrastructure and that setup is shared by all the events for the season. Okay, so it makes it a little bit more expensive for Miss SVG doing it by itself in the month of October. So different things have to be considered. If you don't try things, you won't know if it would get better patronage in Carnival or down in October. Let's say carry it down in October and see how it works. It has been there for you the past couple of years. The CDC may at some point decide, look, we're gonna revert back to where it used to be and make it a carnival event. I don't know what the decision will be or when that time may come. But I'm just giving you both sides of the coin that some ports are for it in October and some ports are requesting that it be returned. And when I say some ports are talking from the public. And the CDC, of course, take guidance somewhat from feedback from the public. Like for example, we were talking about the promoters and so on. They indicate that the feedback from the public on radio and social media is in support of CDC making the move and so. So sometimes you have to feel the pulse of the people through their responses on social media and radio and support and so on. So that's my take on that.
Mr. Rani, unmute.
Oh, I'm going to be very brief and very straight to the point. I'm going to recommend and advocate that our Queen shows return to Carnival Vincy Mas, especially Miss Caraval. I mean, I was around for Miss Caraval for quite a while. I've worked on Miss Caraval. I perform, and I think that there's some great value in the Miss Caraval pageant. I mean, just like everything, you have to, as a promoter, while doing something for quite a number of years, you have to obviously go back to the drawing board. You have to rebrand, you have to repackage, you have to go again, right? I think that we have given it enough of a break. I think we need to bring it back. I would recommend it highly. And I think we need to treat it for what it is. It is a regional pageant, and there's nothing that is stopping us from getting regional support for the regional pageant. I don't know if I'm making sense. That's why I'm stressing regional, 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 because we now have to step outside of trying to seek funding for Miss Carnival only in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You have ladies who are coming from all over, and I think that we have to drive it, just like how we see St. Lucia Jazz is driving St. Lucia Jazz Festival, how we drive these festivals around the region. You have to have that approach with Miss Carnival. You cannot treat it as how you treat a regular event in St. Vincent. You have to treat it with the airlines have to come on board, the travel agents have to come on board, the different big major companies, the Western Unions have to come on board, the other drinks brand have to come on board. So you have to treat it as how you would treat a festival by itself, right? Because one of the other thing, when persons come, right, they come for different things. You have to have engagement that engagement that are targeted towards the Miss Carnival event, right? So those would be my recommendations, and I highly think that next year should be the return of the Miss Carnival pageant. But we have to start the work as soon as Vincy Mars is done.
Nice. I see the ladies them liking that. So the ladies them endorse that, man. So yeah, we have to
Yeah.
things to talk about. Rural carnival. What's up with that?
Well, Royal Carnival is it?
Real carnivals. Well, let me be clear because I still think a number of persons still associate with rural carnivals because I was the coordinator of rural carnivals for quite a while, but which was a board position. But I had to resign my board position in order to work for the CDC. So just like Rodney had to do apply for the job when this position came available, I applied along with other person. I went through the process, and once I got the job, then I had to resign from the CDC board. So I've not been the coordinator of rural carnivals for about 5 years, over the last 5 years. Okay, but rural carnivals continue to play its pivotal role in Vincy Mass. It is the build up. It creates that vibe and give person the buzz that say, hey, Vincy Mass is around the corner because all these rural carnivals are taking place at various parts of the country. And that has been happening over the past years. Even while I'm no longer the coordinator for rural carnivals, I recognize the importance of rurals. I see the activities of rurals. I still relate to these rural carnivals. I love to go to rural carnivals, get the actual activities, the juve and the jump up or what have you. I attend rural carnival activities throughout St. Vincent and Grenadines, just like many other Vincentians. We look forward to it to give us that drive and that build up straight into the national festival. Still very much active, alive and well.
I mean, yeah. I mean, as he was the coordinator, so there ain't much I could say about Royal Carnival than he just said. I mean, but I also want to add, outside of the known rural carnivals in Vincy Mass, we also have rural carnivals that are represented in the Grenadines. Kind of one mainly. And I think Beckway is also coming right after the carnival season. So while we may have rural carnivals that are starting out, because as we speak right now, there's an activity that is happening in Clare Valley. It's not an official rural carnival, but I personally think as a creative, I'm just like you, Colin. I just think very weird. I mean, I just feel that there's something about rural carnival that we have not tapped into yet, and I've been seeing it all night, our way of life, right? I think if I was a leader or a member of one of these rural carnivals, I would look at a lot of the things that my community is known for and sell it as a part of the carnival, the rural carnival product. I mean, for example, barley. What is barley known for?
Blackfish.
And we sell that. Last night they had a lunch, and Colin, it was huge. You know why? They launched the carnival with the fish fest. And that is something that in entertainment you will learn it. That you have to start creating marriages. Jamaica do it very well. Dancehall is mixed with what? Fashion, right?
Yep.
But dancehall is a lifestyle. It's a fashion thing. When you see Jamaica, you before you hear a Jamaican open your mouth, you could know it's a Jamaican by the way he dressed and he personality, and there's a way of life. So I feel like the rural coordinators should pay very close attention to the things that their communities are known for and let people come to the community not only for the entertainment, the carnival entertainment, but for also that. Look at how people operate on March 14th. March 14th when they go to fancy. It has some people who ain't seen no entertainment yet when they go fancy now. But when they leave in fancy, they're in the vehicle, a little bandongo, a little cassava, because they're going for something that is outside of just the entertainment value, right? And I think that the rural coordinators should look at these things, not just try to put an artist on stage or try to hire a pan side, but you can sell things that your community is known for. And every single community in Simmons is known for something, something that has value, something that you can sell. You understand? What happened last night in Barley? I mean, Barley specifically is not a rural carnival, but they form a part of the rural committee there. They were able, when Colin, when I see the snaps and the thing, I say, if I drive down to Barley now, I'm not getting into Barley because of the traffic. You understand? Majority of the persons who went, they didn't went to the opening of the carnival. They went there to patronize the food, the culinary arts. You understand? Everybody want to go Barley now. No? And I know the foreigners can't wait for come home to go. Cause I have some foreign friends who say, boy, when I come, I go in Fish Fest. And the CDC has plans to collaborate with the Fish Fest committee to do an activation there. And this is before even, as he could tell you, we start planning this since in February. Because we see the value in it. You understand? Remember I spoke about earlier, I'm not saying carnival, I'm saying festival. Because there are different elements that make up a festival. And what happened last night at the launch of that carnival, that they were able to twin the culinary arts with it. You understand? Colin, when you come home now, you're running by Macy's, you're running by Walmart, you're running by Old Navy, because why? You want to look good for the carnival. So the fashion comes into play. You understand? Then when you come down, you want food to eat. You understand? So the rural carnivals are a major part because they also help to set the tone and the atmosphere for the main event. But I would really love to see we utilize the different things that our communities are known for and sell it.
Yeah. Mr. Small, you saying you keep saying festival. I want you put national festival to the thing. I put the national to the
Sorry,
thing. Yeah,
National
yeah,
Festival.
yeah, national. Yeah. Because I want everybody, man. Look, I went Mexico on a vacation, brother. I saw you come off the plane. Them people are well organized. Like
Hmm.
they make you feel special. I have to tip them. The amount of money they make from tip millions of dollars, brother.
Hmm.
You understand? So I want we take carnival as a national festival. The taxi man, everybody, just do your best. Give your best. You understand? So when people leave St. Vincent, they will say, boy, St. Vincent is the place. You understand? So we have put
Yep.
national. So you want your best. And then we say national, you want your best, right? So that's what we want.
Hmm.
Mr. Ezzy.
Yes, I.
Yeah,
I
so
hear you.
what's that?
You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing you.
All right. So, what you have to add?
I'm in agreement with you. We make a national. We have to say national festival. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, one problem I really see though, I find our better songs do not get enough play in Stevenson.
Mute Ezzy, mute. Mute Ezzy.
Yeah. I was saying, right? I noticed, okay, like, listen to Trinidad. They have made thousands of songs that's come out, man. But they always find a way to get their best songs on top. I find Seven, so the songs that we push the most for Carnival, after Carnival, they die down and the good songs get, and I don't understand. I don't understand it, but maybe you guys live there, you could explain it to me. But I would like to see our better songs and push more. That's all I gotta say.
You really bashing MDJs tonight, boy, Colin, boy. You really, you know what
No,
I want to do too?
no.
I want to set I want to set up another program with you just for you and MDJs. I really want you to to interview them, and I want you to be very open and honest with them, right? No,
Yeah.
I can't blame the DJs only because we are also consuming it.
The
We are
radio
also
station.
accepting it,
The radio
right?
stations too.
Yeah, but we are the people. We are accepting it also. I mean, we gravitate to it. I mean, some of the things them that I see people go crazy over. I mean, I have no problem with that because we all have different appetites, right? But if we are not buying it, they won't produce it. But we are buying it, so they're doing it. You understand? There's some songs where after Carnival is when I hear them, I was like, what? And these are the songs that blow up after Carnival. Look, I now ask you now, if I could put you to a test now, I mean, I could bet a 10 Canadian, I can't do more than that because,
And
Carnival.
you the CEO, yeah.
Boy, being a CEO is a good and bad thing, Right? The amount of people that's find out office, oh, I want help for going to the studio, I want help that we could sit down here and I could ask you to name 10 of the songs that were trending in Vincy Mars, where I didn't know. I mean, so we have to be careful with what is trending and what is sustainable. Very,
Right.
very big difference. And I mean, so again, that is another conversation for the DJs and the radio stations. And I mean, the most we can do from our CDC and is try to see how much we can incorporate a lot of live performances and give these artists the opportunity to promote their music. And for us to see how we could use a lot of these music in our promotional items, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Ezzy, anything you have to add to it? Unmute, unmute.
Yes, I too, feel that sometimes our artists are misguided by a small group of friends and maybe two or three DJs who are close to them would play the song, put it on heavy rotation, and they could interpret that to mean that their song is big. But their song being popular in a carnival doesn't mean that the song is big. And we have seen it happen over a couple of carnivals where some songs are very popular during the season, but immediately after carnival they die. And then you hear some songs that only got a little play during the carnival season end up being big songs 6 months, a year later. Sometimes they play heavy on rotation right back to the next carnival. So they were in fact the big songs and not the ones that person chose to put on heavy rotation for one reason or the other. Sometimes it's just a hook line. Sometimes the hook line is catchy. And that's what some persons hold on to it. But after a while, there's no longevity in that. You could only, appreciate it for a short period of time. So I want the more artists to misunderstand the importance of. I want artists to understand the importance of writing songs properly. You came back to a point I made earlier that you have an idea. You need to take it to somebody. You could start write your song. You could write the song, or you could take it to someone who you feel comfortable to, who has experience enough, feel like you're comfortable with them, writing your song, and they could share ideas and they might get you to change up the song and make it a much better song. And could give you some longevity. So this thing between song and heavy rotation and being a great song or a good song is a big difference in my view. Yeah.
Yeah. So fellas, give me 2 minutes. I wanna. So when we come back, I want we touch the calendar. We're gonna go from each shows. We're gonna come down with the shows. But
Who
I
are
have
the
this
monster? Who are the
Yeah.
monster?
I have. Oh,
Who are the monster?
You read my mind. Yeah, so I had this big one from Scott. So give me 2 minutes. Let me world premiere this thing here for Scorpion. And then we come back with the calendar and we go talk about all the shows there, right? So ladies and gentlemen, I have a brand new song here from Scorpion, man. All they tell me, I want ready them
Drum
tell
roll,
me if they
drum
like
roll.
the thing, Yeah. So
Drum roll.
the man said, drop the thing.
You're inside Vincy Live every Saturday from 8 p.m.
Yes, man, we have this big bad one from Scorpion. All they tell me for they like it.
Outside of what is this like for? Bend over.
You're inside Vincy Live every Saturday from 8 p.m.
Outside of
Brand new music, Scorpion.
bend over. Girl, your back heavy. Bend over.
drive.
Girl, your backpack heavy.
Something good, boy.
Heavy, heavy. Put it on the ground like grass, me girl, pick it up. Cell phone ring, but the job, girl, pick it up. No dirty money, clean money, pick it up. Bend over, bend over. Girl, your backpack heavy.
World premiere, man.
Heavy. Sexy, man, and excellent. To the point, it's so president. No lazy walk, your man never compliment. Leg fat and how she come to up. She keep her mind on the big
Marcia, boy.
in the weekend.
Turn over, baby.
My bills on the weekend. She like the call when they tick. Fantastic. Bend over, bend over, bend over, bend over. Girl, your backpack heavy, heavy, heavy. Bend over, bend over, bend over, bend over. Girl, your backpack heavy, heavy, heavy. Put it on the ground like grass, me girl, pick it up. Cell phone ring, but the job, girl, pick
Miss
it.
Fire Empress.
No dirty money, clean money, pick it up.
Good night, Miss Finley.
Bend over, bend over. Girl, your backpack heavy,
World premiere.
heavy, heavy.
Mr. Scorpion.
Bend over, bend over, bend over. Bend for the cash from Mr. Nova. Bend over, bend over, bend over. Let me full up the bar till it spill over. Bend over, bend over, bend over. Bend for the cash from Mr. Nova. Bend over, bend over, bend over. Aye. Keys to the Benz that are your own. Acres to build the dream home. Before them see you, them smell.
World premiere, baby.
When it's fun time, she do with it. She call me cash out, not credit. On the weekend, the weekend. She blow my bills on the weekend. She like the call when they tick. Fantastic.
You're inside Vincy Live every Saturday from 8 p.m.
Yes, man. The man said bend over. We get back to that later on. fellas, all they tell me what they like it. yeah, fire.
I think big up Scorpion boy. Always consistent and it has to do, I think some of it has to do with his own personality. He's a guy who likes perfection. His ability, he knows music, which is always a plus. Part of being an artist. A number of guys can sing, but they're not musicians, they're not musically inclined. I think Scorpion is like that. And his writing skill is excellent, and that's why he has over time has produced so many hits. I mean, persons hearing Scorpion dropping a song like this is no surprise to anybody who knows Scorpion. You know what I mean? He has done songs like these that could give you that buzz that you hear it, and on the first time you're hearing it, it just hits you and you're ready to run with it one time. So Scorpion, another monster hit from Scorpion.
Yeah.
I don't want to reflect earlier we spoke about the juniors, and I just want to reflect on Rodney mentioned Hans as coming out to the juniors, sponsoring a show and the junior show, Junior Calypso Soca, and so forth. Scorpion came through that era as well, where he started as a junior singing Junior Calypso, and then get into soca, raga soca, and so on, and continue into adulthood. Shannon Mackenzie went through that era as well, came through that era. I suppose like Pat Ralph, and so we started in school and then continued. And you notice these artists that start from the school level, when they get into adulthood, they always perform and create. Their creativity and their performance is at a different level than and so on. So it is important the parents pay attention to this. Getting your kids into the school, if they're in school, and you can get them into music, get them into singing, trust me, they can benefit when they become adults.
Yes, man. Mr. Small.
I mean, I still want to believe that Scorpion is my friend. And I mean, but I want to speak outside of the capacity of my friend. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's a great song, well orchestrated. But what I could say is how I rate an artist is by your creative intelligence and imagination. For any writer, whether you're writing a song, you're writing a piece of music, or you're writing a poem, or you're writing a play, imagery is one of your biggest friend. And over the years, I mean, even for me as a 16-year-old listening to Scorpion, every time I listen to his music, I automatically am placed in a place in a space where I start seeing what he's saying, what he's singing about. Listening to that Ben over, I am seeing Carnival Monday. I'm seeing Carnival Tuesday with all these ladies in the middle of Kingston bending over, and you know they're going bend over. And he knows the psychology. He understands the industry. You understand? So while he's writing, I mean, he don't have to tell me that. I know he's already placed himself in a particular environment and an atmosphere, right? When he is writing, the great Beethoven used to do it. When he's writing, he goes to that place. So Beethoven used to do a lot of music. He would go down to the beach side. If it's something of a that he wants you to feel like if you're at a beach. And I could picture Carnival Monday and Tuesday with this song. And I know that's probably one of his intention. I don't know if this is the road march song, but I mean, hearing it right now, I could call it. I could see it being in the race for the road march. But I mean, Scorpion have a lot of songs like that. And I mean, we have a lot of artists who write like that too. But I think Scorpion have mastered that. I mean, the song Soca 365. I mean, a nice imagery. Never forget where you come from. Imagery again, and imagery don't have to be sight, right? I mean, the way he was able to utilize the different tones of some of these songs, it creates that feeling for you because never forget was about not forgetting where you're coming from, and some of the instrumentation that he used in that song also created that imagery. But this bend over thing, boy, Scorpion, you're gonna create problems in this carnival, boy. This. I mean, how boy. But
Yeah.
I mean, and this is my disappointment. No, and I'm not taking anything away from the song. But I wish a lot of the young people would just hit up Scorpion and ask questions, bombard him. And I know he's a man. He's going to help. He have helped, but he's also serious about your work ethics. If you're not serious, don't go around Scorpion. No, Scorpion school me already, Colin.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Me
yeah.
and Darren and Jules. He sit me down on the ground by the gas station down bottom town, and he school us. You know what I mean? And we can see his rewards. You know what I mean? He's a very serious artist. He's serious about his craft, and he puts a lot of everyday life into it. I remember Scorpion tell me a time we were in a band room. If you could go into a doctor's office and sit down and watch him work, or when he's doing a surgery, and I never understood what he was talking about either. I mean, the point he was making is that why should we have all these distractions around us when we're rehearsing? And Scorpion is a man when he rehearse, I don't know, you recorded your 4 or 5 times before you could say, well, boy, rehearsal done. You know what I mean? And I'm saying these things because these are some very serious work ethics. Scorpion is not leaving that bedroom unless he record every single song he rehearsed. So he can go home now and he can listen back. You understand? But I don't know how I feel about this bend over thing, boy, Scorpion, but you will put people in trouble. I could just picture where them girls reach from police station and all the police them line up, stand up. Them girls go in front of the police and bend over. Wind up on the police. That's it, them girls just do Carnival Monday and Tuesday. But great song, great song. My only fear right now, and I know Scorpion will tell you he don't depend on radio for his music to be played. I just wish that it would get justice. And I'm encouraging those DJs who are listening, our promoters who are listening, play the music. I mean, the musicality in this song, different. I just can't wait to hear this on some big speakers, man. Big
Big
up yourself,
road.
Scorpion.
Big
Big
up
up
the road.
yourself, Scorpion.
You listening to your man, you appreciate, you appreciate what you guys have to say. So Scorpion is there. So yeah, man. So yeah, big up Scorpion. Always trust me and give me the song them to play first. So big up yourself, Scorpion.
And for Scorpion, trust you know, that's a good trust, eh?
I know.
Yeah, he's a serious man. I mean, his work ethics is out of this world. But I just want to repeat that, Colin, for what it is. I mean, as a writer myself, not a songwriter, but I write. I mean, productions, imagery is very, 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 very critical, and understanding the psychology. I mean, that's why people still want up to tell you how come fireman they still win. He understand the psychology. I mean,
Yep.
some men, I mean, young and figure, well, boy. I mean, it has some man get you with the chukaraka. You go and sit and you do a chukaraka and you get you.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want us to feel like that is not possible. It's a man who get you. It's a people who get through. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
but the sustainability is a whole different conversation. But I just wish a lot of the young people would utilize the resources that are around them. I mean, when I say resources, I mean people like Scorpion, Bomani, Madza. There's so much I could mention, so many names, and I mean, you find the young people prefer to stay in their own zone over here and not being able to embrace what is in front of them. I mean, sometimes I wish I had some of what is available to the young people today. I mean, I young, but I feel that I'm a different kind of young.
You're all young. You're not all young. Yeah. But fellas, I really think if we come together, man, like if the radio station, the DJs, the promoters, the government, CDC, the people, we have the talent, brother. We could be number one. I know we have the talent. We could be number one, man, in the soccer thing.
You're still saying could be. I go and challenge you, Colin, because you just play a lot of music every weekend, Vincy music too. I mean, different kind of music. When you listen and look at the credits for a lot of the music that are being produced across the region, tell me who producing and who writing them.
Vincy,
Okay.
we are some of the baddest producers, baddest writers, but somehow we don't come to when it comes to Vincy Mass, it doesn't come together as much how I would like it though. I would like
Yeah.
to see the collaborate work more together and get it a better, work better
We do
together.
we don't like we.
We don't
Very
like
powerful calypso. Aye.
Yeah, man. So it getting late, fellas. So we'll touch the calendar, Randy. You have the calendar in front of you? CDC calendar. And I hear you, and I hear you. Yeah.
I still have it in my hard drive.
Oh man. So let me just go to the shows. Let me go to the shows then.
I think you're muted. Mhm.
Yeah, my producer gonna leave me, so I don't have it up. Yeah, yeah. So if we go to the shows, them and we just people don't get to understand what gonna happen and take place at the shows, the different
Right.
shows.
Next week Saturday is the launch of Carnival on the tarmac. We start at 6 p.m., which is the pre-show, and then we officially start at 8 p.m. But pre-show is something that you'll have to see. There's something that is gonna happen from 7 p.m. So I mean, it is free at the tarmac next week Saturday. So bring every single body. Don't you could bring the 5-year-old, the show is crafted where the Christians could come too, Colin. I mean, the Christians can come too. We craft it in a way where everybody can feel comfortable. And then I saw some persons asking, and then somebody messaged me. We're going to have the return of the Soca Monarch semifinals, which we're calling Bacchanal Bay. This is a cool effect. This is actually a daytime event. Remember we talked about that a while ago? A daytime event. You could bring a cooler, you could bring a blanket, you could bring a chair. I mean, and it's Bacchanal Bay by the bayside down at the tarmac, the lower end of the tarmac where the beach is, and come and enjoy some of our Soca Monarch semi-finalists. Um, and of course, the opening of Carnival, which used to be Fantastic Friday, which used to be the Calypso semi-finals. We're now changing that, and we're introducing a new event, which we're calling Rum and Rhythm. Rum and Rhythm. We're opening Carnival with Rum and Rhythm. We're making it a Friday night lime. We're giving it a Friday night feel. We're making it a rave party. We're just high energy, very high energy, right? So that is a new CDC event. There are a lot of different elements inside there. You're going to have multiple bars. We have a bar that called Lash Up. We have a bar that called Bad Head. You know what I mean? So you know once you go by them two bar, exactly what it say is exactly what's going to happen. So a lot of drinks special. You're gonna have a lot of artists. You're gonna have a lot of DJs. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of giveaways. It's just one of those events that we want to say it's the start of Vincy Mass that we free up and have a good time, right? So that is gonna happen at Victoria Park Carnival City, and then of course we have Kiddies Carnival, which we are calling Kiddies Fun Fiesta. So we're going to turn the Victoria Park into a full Coney Island, with the feature presentation being the presentation from the mass bands and all of the children. But we're going to go into a full Coney Island. When I say full Coney Island, I don't mean two bouncing castle here, three go kart there. I mean a full Coney Island, right? And if it's nice, we do it twice. We come at the Sunday and you get a little thing again. But on the Sunday, this is where another new event we're introducing called An Evening with the Legends. This is now the Calypso semifinals. What we did with this show, Colin, and persons who are listening, we paid very close attention to the target audience, the people who come to support Calypso semifinals. And what we did, we craft the production, we craft the setup and the venue to match the target audience and try to see how we can get some of the young people to appreciate it. Now, the significance to An Evening with the Legends, which is Calypso semifinals, is that the art form Calypso is legendary. Right? I ain't done yet. The art form Calypso is legendary. Then Calypso, the staging of Calypso semifinals is celebrating 50 years of the staging of the semifinal of Calypso. And we ain't done there yet. The cast is obviously the Calypsonians who are going for a spot in the finals. But we also have another cast where we are paying tribute to some of our legends, right? This year, Beckett is also celebrating 50 years in the music business. And then not just Beckett, we are joining the cast. We have Posa, we have CP, and we have Vibrating Skates. For those of you who might be too young, we know the contribution that CP has made to Calypso. And CP was also a former what? Monarch, right? And we have Pose and everybody don't know. When it's Pose and Beckett together, it's problems, right? So that event, we're gonna make it very classy. We're gonna make it very legendary. I mean, we're gonna make it upscale, and this is happening at the cruise ship terminal. So you know that sunset 5 o'clock on a Sunday, 5:30 sunsetting, and you know how that feels. And then we go to Young Voices, Big Vibes. That's Junior Calypso and Soca. Young Voices, Big Vibes. Exactly what it says, that's the vibes. Young people think. And this year, we're actually starting this show later. Reason being, at 2 o'clock, when we used to start the show, everybody at work. So my child, I don't get to see my child sing because I can't born work, and if I born work, I can get fired. So we are going to start the show at 4 p.m. so you can get off of work and you can come and support the young people. And then we're going to put things in place to make sure that everybody can get home safe. All right. So persons can look out for that, come out and support the young people. And I mean, we spoke a lot about Junior Calypso and Soca, but I mean, Young Voices, Big Vibes is the theme. Then, of course, the best show for Carnival, nobody argue with me, is Junior Panorama and Still and Glitter, a whole day affair, I mean, of pan music. Best show for Carnival. You could say what about Soca, Manaka, and thing. Pan is the best show for Carnival. And then, of course, the ultimate all-white event for Vincy Mars. Evo, the evolution of our music. I mean, um, um, I don't even know what to say, boy, but what I would say, without saying it, is that it is happening at a venue that every single person would want to experience. I can't tell where the venue be yet, Colin. I know you like some world premiere, but when I'm ready for premiere it, I go come back and I go premiere it. And I mean, so you're gonna see some of your major hitting artists there, some of your biggest artists. But this show, the marriage that we're creating here is the venue with this show, the atmosphere, the ambience, the newness. I think I gain it way. But yes, that is Evo, Carnival Friday. And then, of course, we have the big bad Raga and Soca Monarch. That too is going to be of high energy. We're going to be pushing a lot of energy and resources behind the Soca Monarch because, again, and a little body told me that one of the big guns, two of the big guns actually is coming back into competition. I don't know who the two be yet, but I would really appreciate that. And I mean, not that I'm taking anything away from the younger artists because they've been really, really doing great things too. Then we have the Masgra, of course, the finals of Calypso and King and Queen. That too is legendary. We have a whole legendary concept for that. And that is something that we also want to push a lot of resources in. And I mean, the Masgra used to be a very big show in terms of patronage. And of course, Juve. I'm excited about Juve this year. Excited about Juve. I mean, there's some things that happening in other countries that we are embracing that we also own. We also use to practice that we're bringing back into the Juve. We're going to regulate some stuff for Juve also, Colin. and we're gonna be pushing heavily on the traditional aspect of Juve. So the paint, the powder, the monkey band, that is our version of jab jab. So you can look out for that also. And I mean, we're not taking anything away from the modern Juve stuff, but we are going to put a heavy push on the thing. And then of course, Carnival Tuesday, Scorpion until Ben over. It's time to see the creativity, the craftsmanship, and then of course all our beautiful people in their costumes, both male and female. And I mean, but and then of course there are some other events. So Carnival is going all the way up now to the weekend. So we're not ending at Tuesday because there are other private events that are coming after those events from Tuesday. So we have a nice calendar, and just to add inside, the persons can also look out for our food village, our Vincy Mass Foods Village. We're going to do a 3-day food village. I mean, if the demand is there, we might extend it, but we're right now we can stick with three days of a food village. I think the 3 days would be for the latter part of our festival. You can look out for some the rural carnivals which you mentioned. You could also look out for some pop-up activations from the CDC. As I said, the airport is going to be a whole vibe. We're going to be putting a lot of atmosphere and vibes at different high traffic areas. So during your shopping in the supermarket, you could get some Vincy Mass vibes inside the supermarket, at the mall. And I mean, some people might say, what mall? We look a mall here too, no, Colin. Not because you are eating center and all these things. Where we live a mall, you know what I mean? We're going to put some little vibes inside there at the gas stations. We're going to have some vibes there just to create a whole atmosphere around the city, in and around St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I mean, once all goes well and we're not about talk, we've also started putting together our execution plan. We have implemented 2 new portfolios at the office to help to execute this. We now have a festival director who would be the person who would be in the middle of the CDC shows and the private promoters. That person would be able to bridge the gap and look at everything else related in the festival. And then we now have a commercial manager who would be dealing with the sponsors or invitees and things of protocol nature. And then of course, as Ezzy mentioned, we just added some new energy to Ezzy and his team. And then we have the shows committee, and then of course you have a CEO that wears multiple hats, where production and set designs and all these things are. So I mean, we're okay. We're just asking for the support and for persons who are listening to my voice. If in any way that you want to help the CDC, I mean, you can come. We have an open door policy where you can come to the office and sit down and talk and give us your support, see how you could help. Because at the end of the day, Vincy Mart is bigger than me. It's bigger than Ezzy. It's bigger than the board of directors. Vincy Mart belongs to all of us. And as cliche as that may sound, it is something that we obviously have to embrace. I'm also looking forward to the launch in New York. And I mean, the energy and the interest has been high. And I mean, being able to promote the 2 events at the same time, and I mean, is something that is I mean, not easy, but I'm seeing the interest there. So directly after the launch, we're jumping on a plane and we're heading to New York to start activating New York. So that kind of love and collaboration we are looking for. But I mean, feel free to go to all our social media pages for all the information. I mean, feel free to call the office. Our numbers are on our website. I mean, reach out to me. I mean, sooner or later you're gonna be seeing our influencers too. So you could probably reach out to them also for information. I mean, we are trying to see as much how many mentions and how many booths we can put at the private show so you can have constant information. We're gonna be doing a roadmap, so a full overhead shot where bathrooms are going to be located, where Victoria Park is located, where you can have parking, where parking is available. So for those persons who are coming in and who are foreigners and you don't know St. Vincent like that, we're gonna be publishing these things so you can know where things are and where you could park, where bathrooms are located and stuff like that. And as I said earlier, I don't know if I mentioned it here, but I don't know if it's this interview, but sometime today I mentioned it, where we're gonna be looking at creating a separate entrance for senior citizens. You know what I mean? So you don't have to go through the rush and the push down of the young people who just want to get in and release some energy. And I mean, we're gonna be looking at some seating around Kingston, especially for the Monday and Tuesday. I mean, for persons who are coming into town and want to sit and see what is happening on the street. So we have a lot of work doing. And again, I said earlier, no man is an island and no man stand alone. So if you can come and help the CDC, especially when we start decorating, I mean, there are a lot of persons who have made their commitment. But when we start, I will feel good seeing in the streets of Kingston when we are decorating so many persons, including private promoters and just citizens, just coming out and just helping to pull a fabric, helping to put up something. That would make me feel good, and that would make you feel good because when we on the road and we wake up the next morning and we see how pretty the country look and pretty how pretty the city look, I know we're gonna feel good about it. I know I going to say, boy, it's me hang up that flag there, you know. You understand where I'm coming from? So I mean, I just want to make an appeal to those sponsors. I mean, who in reach out yet or who in decide how they could sponsor. I mean, every dollar count, you know, Colin. Every little dollar count. But yeah, I am extremely excited if you realize a lot of our shows are highly driven for our components, especially our artists, because you also realize that the artists weren't getting a lot of booking last year. So we try to put as much artist show in the mix this year. So that is the calendar with our party normal. You know, since I didn't say how this carnival in Caribbean, eh?
Yeah,
I said
yeah,
we
yeah,
don't party
yeah.
now.
Please put the festival, national one.
National Festival.
Yes, sir. Mr.
Yeah.
Roberts, what you have to say to us?
Well, boy, I would say with that extensive overview that we have been presented there, I mean, persons have a clear picture in their mind by now about what we are offering for Vincy Mass 2025. And I'm sure that persons overseas who have already made up their minds that they're coming home, they are certainly celebrating the fact that they have taken that decision, given how the calendar that we presented is different than what we usually present. A number of changes have been made, concept to the events have been changed, venues have been changed. It's a different carnival. We're giving you something, different than the usual. And given the response from the public locally, the public has been very receptive to all the things that we have presented here tonight. They haven't heard them from press conferences and various other interviews that we would have done. We know that the locals as well as the foreigners and the locals will be returning from the diaspora and from the Caribbean, wherever they're coming from. When you combine all the energies together, Vincy man, this year going to be hotter than hot. But yeah, the same time, you don't see real take over where we do party normal. Is this year really going to see that? We do party normal for real. But honestly speaking, I'm personally excited about Vincy Mass 2025. I've been involved in various aspects of carnival over the years, and I'm looking forward to everything. The Pandy Mass, the Juve, traditional Juve, hoping to see a revival where we're pushing for and encouraging groups to get back into traditional Juve. Even individuals, even if you're not coming on stage with a portrayal, we ask you to come in town dressed in one of those traditional Juve outfits that Toast used to come in town wearing your nightie, your pajama, your school clothes, and your uniform with a tie and that kind of thing. We want to see more persons being on the street for Juve, highlighting the traditional Juve because we know the paint band's they're gonna take their chunk of the people that's coming out there. But we want to ensure that over time, and we making that extra push this year to push traditional Juve, and we hope over time it would grow and so on, and we'll see a lot more persons in traditional Juve within the next 3-4 years going down the road. But generally, Vincy Mass 2025, I'm excited. I'm giving everybody out there the assurance, given the type of support that we have going, the staff is cooperating, the board is supporting, the committees are doing their part. I think we just have we are energized to make Vincy Mars 2025 outstanding, different, impressive. All the positive adjectives you want to use for Vincy Mars 2025, you can add them.
Wow. Yes, man. So, fellas, anything else before you leave? You have anything that you want to say before you guys go?
Well, I was just saying, for my wrap up, I want to take this opportunity to really congratulate the players in Carnival. when I see the players, then the pan men who are in studio in the pan yard right now as I speak, the artists who are in studio, the mask men who are the mask tents right now, doing work on costumes. The promoters who are planning the events, making sure they order the paraphernalia to make sure that the event is outstanding in the minds of the patrons when they leave their particular events. To the staff of the CDC, to the board, everybody who has a role to play in this mass. I just want to say, put your shoulders to the wheel, put your head to the wheel, make sure that we are good to go. Vincy Mass 2025, the role of every individual who do anything for Vincy Mass. We're looking forward to you making an extra effort to do it extraordinary this time around. All right. And I know that Vincy Mass this year we're in good hands and we're looking forward to big things. Looking forward to see you all from overseas coming to Vincy Mass this year. Who can make it this year? Next year, because next year coming bigger and better.
Nice, nice, nice. Mr. Small, is the mute.
Firstly, I would like to say, of course, Colin, thank you, not just for only accommodating us or inviting us, but for the work that you've been doing for the past couple of months. I mean, not more than months, but I mean, for your the way that you advocate for Vincentian talent and culture, and then of course the persons who have stayed with us tonight. I mean, it's almost 1 a.m. and it shows that persons are interested to get the information, and they're staying with you and they're your true supporters. And I'm not going to repeat anything that Ezzy said, but I want to make an appeal for persons to go out and support our components. I mean, I am literally asking, begging, whatever adjectives you want to use at this particular point, um, to give the CDC a chance, give Vincy Mas a chance, and Vincy Mas in the context of CDC now. We have heard a lot of things over the years. We have seen a lot of things in terms of the negativity. We also have to be reminded that these negativity, the world is no longer a small place. Social media takes things to a very far place, and we have to be mindful in the way we communicate. I'm going to say this: if there are any um, thing that you are disgruntled about, I mean, the CDC number is there. We have an open door concept. You can come and share these concerns, these grievances, so we can, and I mean, work on them. I mean, in a very professional and mature way. What I could guarantee you, and I could guarantee you from next week Saturday, which is the launch of Carnival, is that you're going to get something that you deserve. I think our country deserves the best. I think we are the best, and I think we are going to continue being the best, and I think we are going to continue striving for the best. I mean, I would want to say in advance, thank you to all those visitors who have purchased tickets to come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I want to say thank you in advance to all those persons who have already put in things in place to be a part of the festival. And I want to right now, for those who are hearing my voice, there is no tug of war in Carnival. Carnival is a happy place. Carnival is a place where we get to express our identity. Carnival is a place where we reconnect. Carnival is a place where we can refresh. Carnival is a place where we can generate revenue, the economic activities. But Carnival is also a place that shows the world who we are as Vincentians. We have talked a lot, we have heard a lot. But again, I can guarantee you that with all of us involved, all of the players, we can do this and we will do it. As he can tell you, I say to the staff all the time, I say to some board members that we have no room for errors. And that is our motto going forward from the office level. There is no room for errors. And we will continue to work diligently, go back to the drawing board after every single thing that we do. And as he could tell you, every Monday, there's a briefing with the staff looking at different things. And even now going forward, it's going to be a bit more intense. For those persons in the diaspora, I mean, thank you for everything that you have been doing for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I mean, I think sometimes we don't recognize the contribution, but I'm saying thank you. And again, come home for the festival. Not come home for the carnival. Come home for the national festival. Thank you
Yeah,
very much for
yo,
having me.
Ronnie, please put national. We need national because we want the best from everybody, man. We need the best from
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
national.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, thank you, and I mean, from the bottom of my heart, I'm being very sincere. I'm going to give you the best Vincy Mars that you can ever imagine, and with all the players involved, the board of directors and the committees, we owe it to you. And again, all those are open, so let me
Yeah.
use those channels.
Mr. Small, hey, I need some pan people on the live. I need some mass people, and we need the junior people there. Man. Understand? Make
All
that
right,
happen.
what we
Make that
what
happen.
we would do is set up some components to come and talk with you,
Yeah.
right? But just give us until after the lunch.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We
yeah,
know I'm not spotting out there,
yeah,
but we need them. We need
yeah,
them on the program.
yeah.
Yeah,
Most definitely, you know what I mean? Most
yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Fellas, on behalf of my whole team, yes, man. And thanks, Miss Anne. Miss Anne, big up yourself. Yeah, yeah, Miss Anne, help us put this together. On behalf of my whole team and Vincy Line, we thank you guys. We support CDC. We want to help you guys any way we can. So reach out to us. We'll be in all 110%, man. One team. Thanks, fellas.
All right,
Thank you.
blessings.
All right,
All right,
man.
blessings.
Blessing. All right, cool.
Big
All
up
right,
to
cool.
her. Make sure she reach out to me to ensure that I got on when we were having the technical problem earlier. Thank you and the rest of the team.
All right, brother. Thanks, Ezzy. Hey, man. Thanks. Wow, wow. I hope you guys enjoy it. I had fun tonight. I hope you guys had fun, man. Yes, man. It was very informative. Yes, man. Thanks for CDC for coming and supporting Vincy Lime. But all I don't know, I like to party, but we touched the thing earlier. We go back to Scorpion, man. So big up Miss Anne. Yes, man, and the whole team. Yes, man. I hope you guys enjoy the show. So change up the thing fast, fast. With Scorpion, they all tag up Scorpion for me. Let me go back to the thing now and enjoy the thing. Yeah, man, tag up Scorpion for me, please. Yes, man, yeah. So let me go. Miranda, good night, baby, good night. Brand new Scorpion. Winston, good night. Song play, good night.
Bend over, girl, your back heavy, heavy.
Miranda.
Bend over, girl, your back heavy, heavy. Body come like grass, me girl, pick it up. Cell phone ring, but the job, girl, pick it up. No dirty money, clean money, pick it up. Bend over, girl, your back heavy, heavy. Sexy, bad and excellent. To the point, it's so president. No lazy walk, your man never complain then. Leg fat and hoe, she come to work. She keep her mind on the big bucks and the weekend. The weekend, she blow my bills on the weekend. She like the kind when they take fantastic. Bend over, girl, your back heavy, heavy. Bend over, girl, your back heavy, heavy. Money pon the ground like grass, me girl, pick it up. Cell phone ring, but the job, girl, pick it up. No dirty money, clean money, pick it up. Bend over, girl, your back heavy, heavy. Bend over. Bend for the cash when me send over. Bend over. Let me full up the bar till it spill over. Outside up, I just sing on the floor. Once you there, bend over, girl, your back heavy, heavy. Bend over, girl,
James, you love bacchanal too much.
heavy. Money pon the ground like grass, me girl, pick it up. Cell phone ring, but the job, girl, pick it up. No dirty money, clean money, pick it up. Bend over, girl, your back heavy, heavy. Outside up,
We outside, baby. 2025 song and nice, man.
bend over,
I tell you.
girl, your back
backpack heavy, heavy, heavy. Put it on the ground like grass, make y'all pick it up. Sell food when but the job, y'all pick it up. No dirty money, clean money, pick it up. Bend over, tell your backpack heavy.
Ladies, all ready to bend over what?
Ride up.